Smash the like button, subscribe, and remember, think Caspa.
This is awesome.
Peter, I'm freaking out.
Don't ruin it for me.
I would really wish for the community to start like opening our, perspective, to let the membrane of our community expand and be more fluid and let things in and out. Are you able to implement a free, decentralized, competitive layer of mining that works like Bitcoin, but in internet speed? We have our own village, but there is a phase which we should pass, which is, starting integrating with the broader crypto community. I see us going full force on the whole algo trading MEV problem in crypto. The more vacuum that true decentralization enables, the more people feel that there's a true need for them to come up and contribute. The main metric that I prefer using is the speed of the block rate. The internet speed of a proof of work system. DAG is not a solution at all. DAG is a problem. It's just the right way of forming the problem. I think the problem is more interesting. You should grind on the problem. Like, am I trying to solve something that I prove that is impossible? Whether we will achieve my dream of 100 blocks per second, you'll need to compromise. You'll need to give up on something. And now ask yourself, does it smell right? Do they promise too much? I know the people that have spoken, Satoshi and engaged with him. These are really, serious cypherpunks. I personally know dozens of people who are much more Satoshi than me. Okay, this is exactly what Satoshi would have said. I envision the parallelism of Solana, designed with the zero-knowledge rollups implemented on Ethereum. You bake them together into Caspa. Both in terms of actual features and in terms of culture, I would really wish for the community to start like opening our, perspective. I think that's probably my biggest wish for Caspa community.
Yo.
Hello, Satoshi. What you doing?
Just digging into Caspa. It's wild, Elon.
Are you alone?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? Who's that?
Jack, go to our chat.
What's up? What's up?
Yo, Mike, grab the line.
Yo. What's up?
So, what you doing, Elon?
Oh man, just buying, flying, Caspa to Mars and then stars.
Me too. Me too.
Crypto bling, come list, it's hot, big chain, go spot, chains fast, no lag, we're clean, grid dag,
no lag, no pain, smart bet, no chain of vein, spot us, we glow, contract set, let's go.
Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset, right? There's
no second best.
Okay, it's not
like.
It's not okay. It's not.
Welcome to the future of blockchain, and please welcome the creators of two of the best blockchains in the world. So we're the second best, huh? There is no second best. Just first best.
Store of value. Everything else is a shit coin. 21 million. Digital gold. I'm still early.
Dude, really? Still here? Come on, Caspa smart contracts are live.
Welcome to the Anonymous Maximalists Club. Who wants to begin? I'm Steve. I opened the Caspa white paper. Thought it'd take 5 minutes. I couldn't stop reading.
I said I'd never touch alts, ever, but Caspa, it made sense. Now it's 10% of my portfolio.
I'm thinking of selling all my Bitcoin. Ooh, and going full Caspa.
Thank you for your honesty. You are safe here. We will always support you.
But please come back to your senses. You are still maximalists. And this is not for social media.
Good evening, welcome to Blockchain Banter, episode 62. Chris, how you doing, man?
Just waiting to get to episode 69. That'll be a glorious day. But hey, let's not wish our lives away. Yeah, no, I'm doing really good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I've been looking forward to this space all week. We've got a massive agenda on tonight, so I can't wait to get stuck in. I'm going to get everyone situated up on stage, send some invites out, and talk with some people in the back end as well. I know Alan from QAI is just wrapping up another space, the Wolf of Crypto space, and he's going to slide straight into here. And we'll dive into them as well. We've got Paw Chain coming up. We've got we might have an appearance from Kaspa Silver, Chad. I've got a strong lineup tonight, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, you've done well. You've done really well on this one. You got some really good people in, and it's good as well. I like it's good to learn about other chains as well. I think it's always good to have an open mind. We're obviously extremely biased here, and that's fine. I like Caspa because of what it does and what it's achieved. But it's always interesting to find out other projects, especially when they're proof of work. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear all about interoperability. I hope I didn't butcher that because I've been trying to practice that in front of a mirror all week actually. But yeah, interoperability and how it can work with Caspa as well. I'm very much interested to see how we can merge things together. That's basically what I'd like to find out from this space. Maybe others have other agendas or holes they want to dive into, but me personally, I like to see how all can work well together.
I would like to know when Chris changed his PFP, because this is really confusing for me. I don't have that handsome ginger to look at anymore. I just have this What are you doing?
Man,
Dude, I thought the exact same thing as I joined this.
I
group. was
almost
like, who is
missed
that?
giving him the co-host. Yeah, I didn't even know he was in the space. I was looking for him for the co-host. His PFP just threw me.
Shows how much you guys interact with my my page.
Why? When did you change this?
Today, like literally today. So I put out a post saying about I've been trying to mine Caspa but haven't been able to get it, and all it was me with a breaker, and I was posing, like obviously that exact pose actually.
But to be fair to myself, I mean, when I see posts from you, I don't look at anything. I just like, retweet, and say we need to drink beer below it. That
Yeah,
is my
you don't even read. You don't even read what I've put up, do you? Well,
no, but you can find comfort in the fact that I actually don't read anyone's post, for that matter. So it's not just you.
Oh, love it. Well, I've made this post, and then Caspa, Caspa Lady, who does all the memes and things like that on about Caspa, just come up with that, and I thought as soon as I saw it, I was like, I love it. I'm gonna put that as a PFP for my account, and then Rhubarb Media, we got Chad in the audience, so I can see him there. Then just made the branding what is normal, if you know what I mean, the normal branding.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. It's my perfect PFP.
Well, I'm so upset when I saw that everybody now has got a K on it, and I don't have a K on it. So, I mean, in which motorbike club do you not have the K when you're part of it? So I've instructed Vega already. He needs to change my PFP. I want a K on it.
Yeah, you need to get your patches on.
Yes, exactly.
But no, it's I absolutely love it. So that was straight away put that up as a profile picture.
It looks good. I mean, I think both you and Levendi's PFPs you guys have created now. I don't know, Levendi, how long have you got this new one? It's been a while now. But
yeah, it's been I don't know, over a month now, I think. But same person, Caspa Lady, absolutely fantastic, man. They're doing such an amazing job on the timeline. I've got to give props to them.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It gives it a good brand also. I quite like it.
Do you know what I really like is the Caspa colours with the ginger hair. I think that just works so perfectly. It's just mwah. That is a good bit of art there.
We have to add that to the logo branding profile colors palette.
Yeah.
Can you sample your hair and just tell me what text code that is?
Yeah, I wouldn't know what text code. Probably just Ginger Chris. If you put Ginger Chris in,
Chad, I think I've heard the name of this color before. I think it's African Sunset.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you go on Excel, on PowerPoint or Excel, if you go to the red ones, it's the darkest, most red there is. It's that one.
Oh, I will sample this. I'll put a whole color scheme together for you.
Oh, it'd be brilliant because it does go well, doesn't it? Is it just
no,
it's
it's a good complementary color, orange and the green.
African sunset and the green.
You need to come visit me in Africa with your African sunset there one day.
Would I be like a god in South Africa?
You probably will.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah, you probably will. They'll be very impressive, and especially if you walk like when the sun sets and things, and it hits your head, it's gonna make you look like a saint or an angel. So I think
it's like Moses coming off the mountain.
Yeah.
You'll be glowing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think they may think I'm something godlike because I'll probably be the first ginger they've ever seen that can actually tan.
Well,
and that's pretty good going.
You'll also be the first human they meet that doesn't say hello or how are you, but says Caspa. It's the best blockchain out there, and it's the only one you need to be investing in. So it's going to be strange for them, but I'll be there. Well,
we need to get South Africa on the Caspa standard. South Africa would thrive with Caspa standard.
Well, the US also. I think there's a couple of countries in the world where this will really work well. I think the US is one of them also. So there's a few countries out there that will do really well, except the UK.
I mean, it is coming to some sort of degree, isn't it? Where we're like, well, Bitcoin's getting adopted at a, I'd say, pretty rapid rate now. Like, it's not, don't get me wrong, adoption is tiny at the moment, but there are at least countries, governments looking into Bitcoin and putting it on as reserve and blah, 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 blah. And to be honest with you, it's only a good thing, because if you speak to no coiners, most of the time when you say crypto, they just think scam, like straight away, scam, that's it. Now that, because what no coiners will associate with is what they get fed by the media anyway. So a lot of it's just scam. But now Bitcoin's getting more and more involved in, oh, actually, this is quite legitimate. We can have it as a reserve, blah, 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 blah. That then opens up the floodgates to other cryptos. Just my only hope is that people do enough due diligence to realise that it is like the Wild West at the moment. People are rugging left, right and centre. I think people need to really understand what actually decentralization is, and like the ability to be permissionless and like not put your keys over to someone else. Understand, like, there's so much for people to understand. It's going to be fucking hard work, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I agree. But it's, I mean, it is still pretty small. I mean, if you think about it, even if we reach the $4 a CAS prediction you have, what's CAS at then? 80 billion market cap in total?
Probably about 90 billion, I'd say.
Yeah, so the average bank size, capitalization, or bank value and equity. If you think about Tesla is almost $1 trillion. Apple, I think, is running at 3 trillion now. So yeah, it's minute.
Big, well, say big, tiny influence at the moment. Yeah, definitely. But that's a good thing. It just like it gives people the chance to sort of ease into it, I suppose. But like I said, hopefully the majority of people go for decent projects and not just scammy ones.
Yeah, very true.
Anyway, right. Levendi, who have we got up first? I suppose we should kick the show off.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, we've got a massive lineup today. I'm looking to dive into everything proof of work and interoperability. So we'll start off by hearing all about Paw Chain from Sir Shilzalot. Great name. Sir Shilzalot is welcome to the stage, man. We'll dive into everything Paw Chain, then ask some questions from the audience. I know the audience has been asking questions all throughout the week since we made the post, so we'll pin them up and go through them. After that, we'll slide on over to Alan at QAI. Welcome, Alan, to the stage for the first time. I appreciate you joining, mate. I'm really looking forward to diving into everything you guys have got going on over there. Also, hopefully get some questions from the audience, get them answered, and from the panelists. And then from there, for those that are listening in the audience that do not know what Caspa is, I'm sure the listeners, the speakers up on stage will tell us all about it as well. And then once that is done, we'll dive into everything all together.
Oh, sounds good to me. Sorry, I had a bit of a malfunction there. Yeah, no, sounds good to me. So, Sir Shilzalot, brilliant name. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Really, really good, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so to be honest with you, I don't know about Paw Chain. I know about you guys a little bit, but I haven't looked into it at all. So why don't you start by telling us everything about Paw Chain, what you guys do, and yeah, what you sort of want to achieve in the crypto space?
Yep, sounds good. So first of all, I just want to say thanks to you guys for inviting me here. I'm a community member, a Paw Chain community member. I'm not a team member, but I've been with the project since the beginning. So yeah, just really grateful to be here. Congratulations on this is, did you say the 60-second space? That's awesome. Nice to see the consistency and people always showing up. Yeah, so Paw Chain. I mean, anybody who's listening from the Paw fam, that's our community, with you telling me to just talk about Paw Chain, we'll be here for 10 hours. So I'm going to try to tighten it up a bit. But of course, if there's any questions ever, please feel free to reach out. We do have a Telegram and Discord as well, if you ever do have a question. And we also have our weekly community spaces on Saturday. This past Saturday was our 125th consecutive weekly community hangout. So pretty good. And you can just show up there and ask any questions you like. If you don't feel comfortable speaking, you can type your questions and comments at the bottom and we'll read them out. But on to Paw Chain. So Paw Chain is the first of its kind layer 3 unification blockchain. So we hear layer 2 or layer 3 and okay, so what was it built on, right? Like it's built on a layer 1 and that's true. Paw Chain is a layer 1, a layer 2, and a layer 3. So it's been all built by the same groups of developers. And the goal was to make Web3 seamless, which it absolutely isn't right now, as we all know. Multiple blockchains, multiple layer 2s, multiple wallets with multiple different assets, gas fees, the rest of it. If you deploy your project on Paw Chain, this is for developers, you just deploy one liquidity pool, and then your project is instantly accessible on 19 networks, including Paw Chain, and will also be accessible on all of the future integrations. The developers are working on Sui and Tron. I know XRPL and Bitcoin are coming. That's down the road. It takes them longer for those ones. So yes, you're probably noticing now too that I'm saying blockchains that aren't EVM based. So we have integrated EVM based, Ethereum based blockchains, and non-EVM, non-Ethereum based blockchains. We have integrated Solana, so that's accessible on Paw Chain right now. We have our Paw scanner, we have our Paw wallet. We do have our NFT marketplace coming soon, which again, this will be multi-cross-chain applicable, where you can just deploy your project on Paw Chain once and then have it accessible as NFTs across all of these blockchains. We also have our Paw wallet. We're waiting now for the apps to be released. It will be available in the Apple Store as well as Google Android Store. Right now it's browser-based, but using the Paw wallet, you have access to Paw Chain, Paw swaps. You can delegate, so you could lock up some of your Paw coins and earn a passive income. And it's all gas-free. We don't have any gas fees when you're using the Paw wallet on Paw Chain. We also have access, and that's through Paw swap. They built a swap as well. You can access the Paw swap externally with your choice of DeFi wallet. You can choose MetaMask or Trust Wallet. You can even use Phantom, right? Because of Solana. So yeah, I mean, it's an awful lot of things to talk about. You were mentioning the space was about proof of work and interoperability. We fall into the interoperability. That is hard to say, man. The interoperability aspect of blockchain, crypto, and Web3. And so if you're looking to deploy a project and if you've already deployed, for example, if you've already deployed on Ethereum, you can still deploy a pool on Paw Chain. It's permissionless, and we actually have a team of a deployment team. So if you are interested, send me a DM. We can set up a chat on Telegram. They can point you in the right direction. We do have lots of videos on YouTube. The official account here on X is @Paw Chain, so you can give that a follow as well. We do have quite a few informational posts there and videos that sort of explain things a lot faster and clearer than I'm doing now. Again, sorry, it's just a lot of information to get through. The last thing I'll say, I guess, is someone, I think, Chris, maybe it was you mentioning about the education here and, somewhat the lack thereof and the difficulty for newbies coming into the space, which I couldn't agree with you more about. We will be having Paw Academy. So Paw Academy will be an opportunity for people who have been in the space for quite a while and for people who are new to the space to share their experiences, to share their feedback, to share their insight. It's difficult, right? I mean, I love these spaces. I mean, I have tons of anxiety right now, but I'm so happy to be up here talking. I know it's difficult for other people to even just come up and speak at all. I can really appreciate that. So really looking forward to the Paw Academy, where it will be as much interaction as you want or need, but the information will be made readily available. Again, we can expect videos, we can expect spaces, we can expect blogs, lots of different ways. I'm not really sure. I've spent a lot of years in the field of education, so I'm not sure if we're going to be using what sort of LMS, like a learning management system, but I will definitely be trying to help out with that as much as I can. Again, just as a community member, but I 100% agree the importance of the education. The whole thing is people coming into the space don't know what they don't even know, right? Like they don't even know what to ask or even what's going on. So again, Paw Chain is trying to help, welcome people into the space, welcome everybody who's already been here, and again, make it seamless across networks where we don't have to continually be using multiple different wallets and whatnot. And you can use the Paw Swap, like I was saying, if you're not here for deploying a project, you can use that. It's like a centralized exchange in the sense that you can swap my Ethereum to Solana. There you go. Or I can swap my Solana to Kronos or Kronos to Base or whatever I want. Again, gas free. But the difference is this is DeFi. It's decentralized finance. It's not a centralized exchange, but it does offer, I would say, almost all of the same benefits. Pretty close right now. We've only been live for a year, with more coming. So yeah, again, if anybody ever has a question, please feel free to stop by our Discord or Telegram or our community spaces.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming up and speaking. I totally agree with you as well with the anxiety side of things, especially when you're on someone else's space. It is nerve-wracking. I totally get that. And especially seeing as obviously our space is very Caspa focused. But like I said, we're always open to listening to everybody and what they're up to. It's just, for me, it's just interesting to find out about different projects as well. No point staying in an echo chamber. It's good to get yourself out there. So I appreciate you coming up and speaking to us anyway.
I'm also very shy. So.
Yeah, no, Wolf's not shy at all. And the reason he's not shy is because he's a man mountain. So he gets away with it. What I was going to say is, so you mentioned that you are on 3 layers. So you've got a layer 1, you've got a layer 2, and you've got a layer 3. Could you just talk us through what each layer is for?
Oh gosh. And so I would love to be able to do that. My focus for the main point right now, it has been explained to me multiple times, and there are different functions of them, but the layer 3 basically, from my understanding, enables Paw Chain to be able to scale infinitely, and also for, what am I trying to say here? Transaction speed, scalability, and security, as well as being able to connect to all of the other blockchains, like I mentioned. The layer 1 and the layer 2 are doing, I guess, what they need to do to bring it up to a point where the layer 3 is able to do all of these things with the increased speed and the increased scalability. But I do feel bad. I don't have details exactly about the layer 1 and the layer 2. I can definitely find out and shoot you a DM later if that's all right. But I do feel bad that I don't really have an exact answer for that right now. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Like you said, you're a community member. You're not actually part of the core team. So it's fine. There's no problem at all. So are you guys proof of stake?
That's correct. Yeah. Proof of authority and proof of stake. And we just recently had 4 spots open up for public validators. And so that allows delegation, which just started recently. I think I don't know. I think it's probably between 15 and 16% of the entire supply has been locked up through delegating. And so that's another opportunity there is people who are familiar with it, similar to staking, where you can earn a passive income. In this sense, it's based on the incoming transactions on Paw Chain. And so you can choose one or all of the 4 validators, depending on however many transactions they validate. Then you will start receiving a passive income in Paw Coin. We also have a unique cross-stitching technique for validation. Basically, it breaks it puts the validators into 3 different levels, and they all have a different role and a different job. It's not going to be the same ones, the same validator with the incoming information, then processing it and then confirming it. It's all constantly being randomized, which is another sort of security feature that's been implemented by the developers. Again, this has been explained to me in great detail, but I'm not so great with the explaining. Sorry again, guys. I feel really bad. But if anybody ever does want to know more about cross stitching, as I explained, it does raise up the level of security, and also all of the transactions on Paw Chain are hidden until they're confirmed. So, like, Paw Chain is for everybody. We say that everybody's welcome to Paw Chain, except for those dirty old sandwich bots that start running sandwich bots. You can't do that on Paw Chain. It's absolutely impossible. It's private. It's hidden until it's been confirmed. So, just something else to consider there too.
Awesome, like that. So, do you know how many validators you've got on Paw Chain at the moment?
Yes. So I'm pretty sure right now we have 8 total validators. This is my understanding. I may be off by a little bit. We have 8 total validators. And so when it first started off, all of those were by the developers for security. I mean, you can't just open it up to anybody anywhere, and who knows what's going to happen. But as I mentioned, we opened up 4 spots for public validators recently. The requirement was you had to have the rig, the setup and everything else, and some experience or knowledge, but you also had to stake 2.5 trillion PAW, which right now is, I mean, it's a lot of money, but not as much as it will be if we drop a 0. And so we've got 4 public validators now. You can go to the validator site and you can take a look at the 4 of them. You can choose one of them or all of them or 2 of them or whatever you want to do, but that's what we have for right now. Our volume is increasing. We just had, I think, 2 or 3 projects deploy in the last week or week and a half. And more projects are in chats, like I said, to the Telegram. If you have a project and would like to deploy with our deployment team, you don't have to. You can do it yourself. If you would like help. And so we do anticipate the volume increasing more. And once that happens, we will be opening up more spots for more public validators.
Awesome, thank you. So with the interoperability side of things, so you could literally say, I'm going to try and explain this in a way that I understand. So you could send a token from Ethereum through Paw Chain to Solana. Have I got? Oh no, that probably wouldn't work unless the token's on Solana as well.
Correct. So it would be. Oh, sorry.
Hello. Oh, is it because Ashton's put his hand up? Ashton, go ahead.
Sorry, man. I just wanted to set it there for later. I didn't mean to cut you off mid sentence like that. And I don't know a ton of background, but I was just chatting about this conversation in a back-end Discord chat. I think this, I'm hoping you can correct me if I'm wrong, Sir Shills-a-lot, but I think like Paw Chain doesn't have 3 separate layers, right? There is no like L1 or L2 that is Paw Chain, right? It's only the layer 3. And to Chris's question on this, it almost operates like a centralized exchange or like a bridge, like a cross-chain bridge, but for DEX capabilities, right? So you can swap, and you can do all these things that you could do on a centralized exchange or a centralized bridge, but they're on chain. They're on Paw Chain being validated instead of being centralized.
There we go. Thank you. Ashton, I'm going to follow you here. Exactly right.
Thanks,
as I tried to, and thanks again, the anxiety is getting to me up here, but what you're saying about that, I think I tried to mention that earlier. When you get up in a space like this and all of a sudden your brain goes blank, but yes, it's like I think I said about, it's very similar to the benefits of a centralized exchange, but in a DeFi setting. So you hit the nail on the head there, Ashton. Exactly right. Yes, you can, and for the swap, especially Chris, like, again, we all have to use centralized exchanges for the most part, but at the end of the day, we all know how that plays out. They can do whatever they want. They can make us sell it at whatever price, regardless of what the price actually is and the fees and the rest of it. Here, it's decentralized, and it's your keys in your wallet also, which is kind of super important.
Awesome. So yeah, appreciate that as well, Ashton. That made a lot of sense to me. So there's not 3 separate layers. It's a layer 3 that operates within EVM and SVM as well. So and like you said, it's like a bridge. So basically, you could, to make it really simple, and this is just for me to try and understand it. That's all. So, say for example, USDT on Ethereum, you wanted to bridge it over to Solana. You could use Paw Chain as that bridge.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you can bridge into Paw Chain into your Paw wallet, and then you would be able to, all in your Paw wallet, you'd be able to swap that for Solana or for Chronos or Base or whatever the rest of them are, and then you could bridge it back out again, right? Ultimately, it's giving you, I hope I'm answering your question here. It's giving you the opportunity to do, as Ashton pointed out there, right, about the centralized ability of being able to swap things back and forth. But again, not on a centralized exchange, and also with more and more projects deploying on Paw Chain, you can also swap for those, right? So, for example, let's see, we've got Bobby's token on there. If anybody remembers Bobby's token, I do explain the spot. Anyway, on Paw Chain, you can buy Bobby's token with Solana directly from your Paw Chain wallet, from your Paw wallet, or with Base, or with Ethereum. You can buy it with Avalanche. I mean, whatever we have on there for now. And again, as more networks get integrated, all of those native assets will become available as well for swapping.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Apologies, I'll try and I do try and learn as I go, but yeah, that does make sense to me. Ashton, go ahead.
Sorry, had a hard time unmuting. I got one, maybe two follow-up questions. So the use case for Paw Chain kind of makes sense to me at a high level. It's essentially functionality and liquidity aggregation across chains, right? If there's all this cool stuff going on in Solana, and there's all this cool stuff going on in ETH and Base and Avalanche, whatever, let's bring it all together in a system that is still on chain, it's still decentralized, we can still verify things to some certain degree. I'm sure there's technical arguments for how good or bad that verification is, but regardless, it makes sense. But is there anything on Paw Chain that's just developed on Paw Chain that doesn't like use Solana or Ethereum? It doesn't, its project use case has nothing to do with the integrated sublayers you guys are using, and it just could also act like Ethereum, and I could launch my project on Paw Chain. Is that possible, or is there a benefit or use case for something like that?
Yep, no, that's a great question. And so it's Paw.js is the language. I believe that's going to be, I mean, obviously it's working, but it's going to be released, I believe, towards the end of this year. Or I think this is what you're asking me. So like people would be able to like build their own dApps. Is that the kind of thing that you're asking me? Like where they would have their own use?
I can put a dApp on Paw Chain that doesn't need to use any of the sublayers, right? It only uses assets just on Paw Chain.
Absolutely, that's right. No, great question, and I'm actually surprised I understood it. But yes, that's right. So that is coming. The developers don't give hard dates because we all know how that goes, and the community riots and freaks out if it's a day late. But it is coming relatively soon, from what I understand, and I believe the goal is to have that towards the end of this year. We also will be having a Paw multi-chain. What am I trying to say here? A Paw multi-chain token launcher, as well as for NFTs. So yeah, there is a lot of more. There's lots of more things that are coming. Again, like I said, we're a year old. I feel like quite a bit has been done, but that is a good question, and 100% yes, you will be able to do that.
Okay, very cool. Honestly, that question was just my personal curiosity on like the long-term efficacy of the chain. Like, is it just to help other chains benefit, or is there a direct use case as well? Which is cool. Thanks for the answer. The follow-up question I had is completely unrelated to the first. I don't know if you're aware or not, but we have one of the very first instances of truly based rollups for an EVM L2 coming to Caspa very, very soon. So this space is a lot of Caspa people, and we're all excited about it, but it's proof of work and it's getting EVM functionality. Do you know if anyone in the Paw Chain community or the devs, or maybe even you personally, have any interest in integrating that? Is it possible to integrate a Caspa layer 2 to what you guys are doing on Paw Chain?
That is a great question. That's super technical. And I am not the guy for super technical questions. Having said that, I understand what you're saying. I'm sure there would be interest, and if it's possible, I'm sure the Paw Chain developers would either be interested in looking into it or possibly have already started looking into it. But definitely the whole point here of Paw Chain, again, is to sort of make everything seamless, to integrate everybody into everything. And yeah, I mean, I think it sounds great to me. I can ask questions. I don't really know off the top of my head, but I do know 100% the goal is to, I mean, we all know there's countless chains out there that are sort of, I don't know, ghost chains or what have you, but the actual real chains that people use, the goal is to integrate all of those, you know, over time.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions and the detail and coming up here and everything. Maybe it's worth just to the devs just dropping one line and just saying, hey, Caspa has a really powerful community. I was just on this space and it sounds like they've got, you know, an L2 that's 100% EVM compatible. Should we look at it? See what they say.
100%. I have a notepad and a pen here, giving away my age maybe. I've written it down, and I'm definitely going to let them know. Also, and I really appreciate that, Ashton. That's a great question. Not going to keep pushing the Discord and Telegram here, but we do have a utility feedback channel on our Discord. So if you are on Discord, feel free to join. And if you have comments like that, anything, questions, just feel free. I know a lot of the time in this space, people show up with an idea and, you know, some projects, community members get upset. Oh, it's FUD or this or that. But even if it's something, if you're trying out the Paw wallet and you're like, this isn't that great, I think this could be better. Again, please feel free. Please feel free. The developers can't do everything, but we love getting the feedback. We love, by we, I mean, you know, the community too, getting the feedback and the input from all the projects everywhere, because this is what the space is for, guys. It's not about centralized exchanges. It's not about, you know, having to put one liquidity pool on one chain and the next one here and there. I mean, you know, it's about being able to be free. Like, why sit around waiting for a Binance listing when you could deploy your own pool on Paw Chain and you're basically Binance now? I mean, you've got access to all of the chains. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'll keep talking, like I said, but thank you, Ashton, and I will definitely let them know about that. And I appreciate the Caspa community with the support as well. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for the detail too and coming up here.
Just a follow-up question to Ashton now. Would, if say Paw Chain did manage to integrate with Caspa's layer 2, would they then, I'm trying to like step by step this in my head, would they then get the security benefits and decentralization benefits of Caspa whilst on that layer 2?
I'm risking speaking out of turn without enough knowledge for sure. So grain of salt, I don't know is the true answer, but I think the most likely answer is no. And I think the reason is because based on what we're hearing today, it seems like the integration of these other layers are not for sequencing or consensus. They're for bridging and swapping and transaction, but both transaction capturing and inputting transactions into there. So, you know, really like high level understanding would be like, you know, send token from Solana to Paw Chain, swap it for this other, and then send new token on Ethereum, right? So the transaction consensus and sequencing would all be on Paw Chain, and those other two, the input and the output transaction, would benefit from their own network's consensus and whatever those networks have, right? But the tying together of all three would not be all transactions on Caspa layer 1, which they would need to be to get that benefit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Ashton, when are you joining the Paw community? Come on.
That's funny. I already got 4 paws, man. That's enough.
I agree. I agree with what Ashton's saying, and I'm 99% sure that that's accurate. Exactly. So yeah, that was a good answer.
Everyone wants an Ashton in their community. Luckily, Caspa has him. He's a trooper in the space for sure, man. But yeah, certainly interesting to Ashton's point, whether Paw Chain could, or well, potentially could tie into Caspa's L2 in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, definitely worth an ask.
I'm and again, not a developer, but I'm certain it's somehow possible. I mean, we've got the Ethereum layer 2s integrated already. And not saying, it's different blockchains and whatnot, but I'm just saying I'm certain it is definitely something that can and will, if it's not already being looked at.
Awesome, appreciate that, man. I think we may have some questions for Paw Chain, and again, I know that you're not actually part of the core team, so you may not be able to answer these. But Levendi, do we have questions for Paw Chain?
It's in such a long thread. I've not been able to gather it up in. Honestly, CatDog made this. Look, I'm going to pin it up on here. He made a thread from last year. It may have possibly been answered on one of your weekly spaces that you guys said that you do, but he may have missed it or not. But he's really looking for answers just to see where he left off. I'm gonna find it now because it was posted on a different. It replied on a different post on a normal one. Got it here. Yeah, I'm going to pin it up on the top. CatDog's a great guy, digs into really deeply into things. So would really appreciate getting him some answers.
Yeah, definitely. So Shields a lot. If you don't know, CatDog certainly on our side of the community really does do deep dives into projects, and he's like Mr. Transparency. He will dig in, which is again for me personally, I think that's a really good thing. But yeah, I mean, like Levendi said, there's a big thread there that would definitely, I think Paw Chain would benefit from looking into what he's put there and answering as best they can. Because, like I said, he does really deep dive into things, and it does really help with transparency with things like that. Because at the end of the day, like no one's perfect, but two, like. When people, there's nothing wrong with people asking questions, and when people ask questions, like obviously it looks better when people answer those questions. So if you can at some point, I know you're not part of the core team, but if at some point, or if you can answer any of these now, that'd be immense. But yeah, if you could pass it on to Paul, that would be also very valuable.
Okay, yeah, no, for sure, definitely. And sorry if something was missed again. Like I said, everyone's always welcome to the spaces, and we try our best, but I mean, you guys hosting the space know how spaces go. Sometimes you can see things, sometimes you can only see yourself in the space. I'm really sorry. I apologize to whoever it was if the questions were missed. Definitely not intentional at all. And I mean, I can take a look at them here myself now, I guess. I don't know if I have the answers for all of them, but we can definitely get something back to them for sure, because yeah, you're right. I mean, it's fair enough to ask questions. It doesn't mean anything other than people are just asking for information, right? So yeah, no, I thanks for bringing that up and pointing that out to me. I appreciate it.
No, it's no worries. Like I said, there's not a lamp to your face. This isn't an interrogation. It's just there's questions there that can be answered. Yeah, I mean, just again, for transparency, it always looks good. And it's not it's not targeting you. CatDog goes through loads of different projects, especially on Caspa, and it's appreciated. You know, he goes into projects and asks questions if he thinks he sees something that's maybe out or missing, and then like just ask people for transparency. He's done it with plenty of us up here, anyway, and it's fair. It's good for community engagement, and it's good for optics as well.
Well, 100%, I agree. Just so I understand here, because I clicked on it's up on the jumbotron there, so I clicked on it and I see it's a quote post. Do I click on that x.com? Is that the link to where where the questions are? I just don't usually click links on this device, but do you see what I'm saying? Like there's a
no, it's completely safe. It's X link. So if you tap onto the reply, CatDog has quote reposted his own post that he's made on this platform. So just tap into it; it'll take you there.
When I press on it, it says, and I don't want to take up too much time. I'm just trying my best to find the questions here. It says, Paw Chain red flag thread April 2025. If you're holding WPaw or considering blah 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 blah, and then it has a finger pointing down, but then there's nothing under it. I don't see the questions.
Yeah, so you got to tap into that Paw Chain red flag thread, and then it will open up to what's below it.
He's commenting on every X post back with additional
Yeah.
data because he can't fit them in there. So just follow the little comments of that same user and you'll see them all.
That's the ticket right there. Who was that? Ashton again. Thank you. Yeah, no, 100%. I will definitely. I'm sorry, I don't see the questions there right now. Or if you guys want to read some of them out, I mean, again, I can try my best as the community member. He's asking for the Paw team, which I absolutely am not. But I mean, if you would like me to spend time answering them now, that's fine. If not, I definitely will take Ashton's advice and go to CatDog's account, and then I'll be able to find the thread that way. The questions that way, sorry.
No worries, man. Honestly, I can barely tap mic on, mic off. So I think you've done much better than I can anyway. Wolf's got his hand up. Go ahead, bro.
Yes, I'm just going to say I can hear all the love for Ashton. So I just want to say hands off. Ashton is ours.
Yeah.
Ashton is Ashton's. Let's make that crystal clear right now.
No Diddy.
Oh, Jesus.
No. Awesome. Well, like I said, it's I can't read the questions out because I can't see them. Like I said, I can just about turn my mic on and off. But I do. I mean, you sound like a really nice bloke anyway. So yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, it's not up to you to have to answer these questions. I think it's for the team themselves, but certainly would be great if you could just I don't know, direct them to these questions maybe, and then they can get answered, and just put it to bed.
I will once we finish up in here. I'll talk to a few different people anyway, and we'll get something sorted there. And again, apologies to CatDog if they posted something in the space and it was missed. I feel bad because that's kind of my job when I'm in the space. But it does happen. So again, it wasn't intentional, and definitely always try to do our best to be as transparent as possible and to answer everybody's question. I will say transparency doesn't mean the answers that we give you are the ones that you want, but at least you get your answer, and then you can you can move forward with some knowledge, right?
100%, man. You can't say fairer than that at all.
Yeah, my wife's the same, so makes sense.
Yeah, they never like you being actually honest with them, do they? Like you say, do you want me to be honest? Yeah, okay. And then you're honest, and then you're in a doghouse for weeks.
Yes.
It's a setup, man. It's a setup.
It really is. Levendi, have we got any more questions apart from those ones for Sir Shields a lot? Rugged or just can't find the...
My goodness me, I couldn't find the bloody mic, man. I was scanning on. I was talking to myself, muted. I was saying to myself that there is no more questions that have come through, but if they do, as we crack on with the space, I'll pin them up and we can come back to them.
Awesome, sounds good, man. Really do appreciate your time, Sir Shields, a lot. That's actually quite hard to say really quickly. But yeah, really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming up again. I know what it's like to come up on space, especially when you're not familiar with the people here, and especially when obviously we are quite Caspa heavy. But again, we like to hear other people's perspectives always, so it's good. And yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add before we move on to our next guest?
No, that was about it. Again, I just want to say thanks to you guys, Chris and Levendi Pro, the host and the co-host. Oh, and I'm missing one here. Sorry, Blockchain Banter. Oh gosh, I didn't follow you. Followed all you guys. You don't have to follow back. That's fine. I just do it because I like to grow my network as much as I can. And you never know when you're going to see something from someone who you followed, who you were like, oh yeah, that's cool. But thanks to you, thanks to everyone who came up to speak, and anyone else who does come up to speak, as well as all of the listeners. Because if it weren't for the listeners, there would be 8 of us here just talking to each other. So thanks again. I would love to come back sometime. Again, sorry if I wasn't able to answer everyone's questions exactly, but if you ever do have a question, send a DM. Come to our Discord, come to our Telegram. Please come to our Paw Fan Community Hangout every Saturday. It's at 9 p.m. UTC. Even just to listen, right? I mean, you don't always have to be talking. You can just listen and hear what's going on, because we do have community members talking about their experiences, and they're not always great. They're not. I mean, we have to be able to accept that when you're building something, there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be things that don't go exactly right. So yeah, that's it. I really appreciate this, man. I really do like the Caspa community. You guys are full on here. This is my kind of vibe, definitely. Like Sir Shills a lot. I love getting out there and spreading the word about something I'm passionate about. So again, thank you so much. I will stop talking now, but thank you.
Wait until you see my pancakes.
Pancakes? Where did that come from?
My pancakes. Have you not seen my pancakes before, Chris?
Wait, are we talking about the same thing? Pancakes, like the little fluffy...
Yeah, the ones that I eat, salad in restaurants, which we eat. But what pancake is... Hey, you gingers are always so dirty. Yeah,
no,
I'm talking about
I always
pancakes.
have meat. I just have meat when I go to yours. Meat and beer.
Yes, that's true.
Well, pancakes, these are like American crumpets, right?
No, I actually do American.
Get away with that talk.
I was just going to say that.
It is actually, Ashton, it is actually American pancakes that we do. So we actually import some American pancake batter, whatever you want to call it. Because, yeah.
You could probably get fake flour closer to you.
Yeah, probably.
Chad, do they have pancakes in Canada?
Oh, yeah.
Not pancakes, sorry, crumpets.
We do it all. We're a blend. We're a blend of so many, countries that we have everything.
That's why they call you guys the better Americans.
But we do have the real authentic maple syrup. So no matter what it's on the plate, it's covered in Canadian maple syrup.
You know what? Crumpets and maple syrup would be banging. I think that would be amazing.
I'm also from Canada. I can confirm.
Butter it up. Throw some maple syrup on it. You will not go back.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to actually try it. I'm going to get some maple syrup. I'm going to get some proper Canadian maple syrup and put it on my crumpets. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, Sir Shields a lot. Again, thank you so much for coming up and giving us your time. Appreciate it, man. Levendi, we've got Alan up next. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Alan, welcome to the stage. Really looking forward to diving into everything that you guys got going on at QAI. How we doing, man?
Hey, guys. Doing well. Appreciate you having me on. Glad to be representing Quai. I will say, stepping into the Caspa Lion Den, but from what I can tell, the conversation so far, you guys are really open-minded and glad to riff on all sorts of different things. From our side, definitely excited to chat about the future of proof of work, where we're headed, what the point of crypto is, why we're here to take down the banks and create new monetary systems. And I think that at the end of the day, we all have more in common than we do for differences. So yeah, glad to share more on what we're doing with Quai and what I'm excited about in the crypto space. And just, yeah, whatever questions you guys have for me. I'm not sure how familiar everyone is with Quai, but the TLDR is we are a scalable, high throughput proof of work system. We're GPU mined with the ProgPow algorithm. We have EVM smart contracts. We utilize a sharded hierarchy of merge mined blockchains. So essentially a almost interwoven set of chains to create security. You guys talked a little bit about EVM, what's coming with the layer 2s on Caspa, so glad to talk a little bit more about the differences between layer 1s, layer 2s. I'm pretty technical in background. My personal background is got started in crypto about 2015, went to the University of Texas at Austin, hook 'em horns if there's any people from Texas on the space today, and went and grew Texas Blockchain, the undergraduate student organization, did that to about 200 students. It was a pretty bustling time. I think 2017 is when we really got kicked off. So you could kind of imagine a bunch of students going and listening about Bitcoin for the first time whenever it's at local all-time highs. And then the room is totally silent after 2017 till about 2020. So also spent some time at Apple as a software engineer and got started with Quai full-time, building out the system in 2022. But Quai actually started as a research idea back in 2018, kind of in that same vein with Texas Blockchain in my time as an undergrad. So yeah, I got a long history of academia, industry, and building in the crypto space. So glad to sort of share expertise, share insight, or just chat about random topics for however long you guys want to riff for. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Well, really, really do appreciate you coming on. And again, I know it's the Caspa's Lion Den, but the whole point of this, I don't want gotchas, and I don't like that approach either. We've obviously got our biases, but that's fine. We're not going to put them out there for anyone. I think it's quite interesting to learn about other proof of works as well. And I think you touched on something that was really good there, actually, is the fact that we've probably got more in common with each other, being proof of work people, and like our sort of goal and why we're in proof of work or in crypto in the first place is mainly because of centralization, and we don't like how, I don't know, governments are run, maybe. So we've probably got more in common than we don't have in common, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I certainly would like to know what made you want to actually set up a crypto project, and again, why did you choose proof of work? I think I probably know why, but I'd like to learn more about what the idea was behind this, what actually made you want to set up Quai.
Yeah, I think, we were pretty disenfranchised with all the stuff that exists in crypto today. And I think even going back to 2018, when we sort of had that initial idea of Quai and sort of outlined what it could look like, we were inspired by the past and looked at the systems, and we didn't really see them usable for the future that we thought was possible with crypto. Bitcoin block times are way too slow. Nobody actually wants to spend Bitcoin. And all the other systems sort of trend towards a plutocracy in a sense with proof of stake and become almost sort of industry, I hate to say it, but almost industry circle jerks in terms of how value is accrued and where people choose to interact. So, that initial shift from proof of work to proof of stake for Ethereum really kind of solidified a lot. If you look at the issuance of stable coins as well, and sort of how those are managed and deployed, well, there's ins to say potentially, the secretary, the treasury secretary, and many of the banks control many of these blockchains through the issuance of stable coins. So I think a lot of those original crypto beliefs sort of live on more so in the proof of work world. And I think that the people that have that interest and have that alignment with financial sovereignty and the ability to actually own part of that system sort of resonates more there. And so I think that's what really inspired me. And it's not an easy undertaking. I mean, anyone building in this industry, you're really dedicating a lot of your life and potentially even, your own freedom as an individual. If you look at many crypto devs getting jailed or having to face prison time for the development that they've done and this code that they've written. I'm a fundamental believer in code as speech and free speech. And I think that building these systems is a form of freedom of speech. And it sucks to see. I think it's gotten a little better recently, but even if you go back 2-3 years ago, they were saying anyone that runs a node potentially is a money transmitter and is facilitating that. And I think that luckily we've had a complete 180, but those are the things that I think are useful to fight. And I think that the cypherpunks and the people that see these visions and have the ability to create these worlds still live on in more of these communities. And I think that that's really what inspired me to go and participate in building out Quai, right? Like I'm just one person. I'm not, if anything, some of the main devs behind the system, and I work with many great people that have way more knowledge than me, but to help them and sort of, clear the way and help it more so in other ways is something that is exciting. And I think that building out kind of the future of what crypto can look like and tackle the incumbent systems that cause nothing but friction and drag on society and really take back a lot of the freedoms that we can get with crypto is what really motivates me.
Love that. And like I said, that's why I think a lot of us in the crypto space probably have more in common than we don't. So with regards to Quai's blockchain itself, you said it's sorry, is the goal for it to be a monetary system? Is that what you're really wanting for it to push it out as an actual some sort of challenge to the dollar, for example?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, whenever I kind of alluded to the fact that people don't want to spend their Bitcoin, it's because Bitcoin, in a sense, functions as a really good store of value, and that's really about it. You're not going to go and chip off a little bit of your Bitcoin, even if it is in Lightning, which again doesn't work that well, to go and pay someone for coffee. And I think it's impractical to view Bitcoin in this sense. And so for us, we looked at the challenges of creating a monetary system, and we thought from first principles what a monetary system requires. And it really boils down to three things. The first of which being a store of value, the second being a medium of exchange, and the third being a unit of account. And like I said, Bitcoin and many other cryptos accomplish the first pillar of a store of value really well. And how do we go tackle the second and the third ones of medium of exchange and unit of account? And where Quai is different is that, like newer blockchains with lower block times and the ability to do high throughput, you're then able to get more of that medium of exchange because you can use the network, you can send something in a second or a couple seconds, and it looks similar to like a Visa, MasterCard, and systems that are more familiar to consumers, Web2 users, and people in the everyday world. And then the third that we really tackled is that unit of account. So how do you price something? And today we see more of that in stable coins. It is one of the largest growing industries in crypto right now. I think we're at like a $300 billion stablecoin market cap, headed towards $1 trillion by 2030. So absolutely exploding. But again, those tend towards centralization because they fall back on the US dollar. And someone has to issue that US dollar, whether it's Tether, Circle, or even a CBDC in the form of the government. And the way in which Quai has addressed that pain point is we've created a new unit of account in the system that is relative to the hash rate, and we've created a almost flat coin or energy dollar that is totally decentralized, completely decentralized, that is then usable for that unit of account in that sort of payment scheme with a medium of exchange. So Quai is unique in the sense that it really has two tokens. The first one being the Quai token, which functions as that store of value, and then the second being that sort of medium of exchange unit of account token called Chi or QI, and that is something that's sort of a novel primitive that we've constructed on the Quai network, given that it is proof of work and has that hash rate.
That's quite interesting, actually. So you've, like you said, you've got your Quai token as or coin as a store of value, and your I can't say it QI as
Chi, yep.
Chi. Sorry, yeah, Chi. As your basically as your stable coin to some degree, as your unit of exchange anyway, as your medium of exchange.
Yeah, precisely correct. And the goal is to have that chain issue Chi natively. And so in the same way that Bitcoin or Caspa or other tokens like Monero, Zcash are issued by the miners, Chi is issued by the miners. And so anyone can mine Chi, anyone can come in and produce this token, and that token over time is expected to have not precisely $1. We're never claiming that this is exactly a stable coin, but it's expected to have roughly some tie to the hash rate and the energy produced by the miners, given its emission proportional to hash rate. So again, completely decentralized issuance and a way of constructing the system that can remove other ties. And of course, you can work with stablecoins. You can issue stablecoins with smart contracts, but the goal would be to sort of supplement that and grow a native DeFi ecosystem with Chi. Because if you look at, again, DeFi as a full landscape of what's possible, well, all of these lending borrowing platforms and these redundancies and the ways in which we've constructed these pools, well, if I'm swapping ETH into USDT, well, I can then go censor that pool if someone decides to with USDT. Or if I have a lending borrowing platform and we're using Chainlink as an oracle and Chainlink decides all of a sudden to not support that, then that's an issue. And so I think the way in which we've constructed DeFi today, it's really decentralized in name only. And I think under the hood, there's a lot more sort of owners with keys that we don't like to talk about than having something like Chi that can be utilized in truly decentralized finance.
Awesome. So this is quite interesting, actually. So the miners that obviously direct their hash rate at the Quai network get paid out in Chi. How do you get do they also pay out in Quai as well?
Yeah, precisely. And so the miners actually have a choice to mine either Quai or Chi, and that actually reinforces the shelling point in the design around that architecture. So we've worked on a controller design with similar developers of Rye Finance or Reflexer's Rye, and They are developers of several other kind of Flatcoin like alternative protocols, and that would be how that system is designed. Is you have miners creating that incentive and creating that game of preference to mining either Quai or Chi every block, and so that kind of sets up the game theory there.
Awesome, yeah, that makes sense. And with the, I may have misheard this, so please correct me if I'm wrong. So with the Chi token or coin, did you say the emissions there go up and down with the hash rate?
Yep, and so that's actually the key sort of breakthrough is you're getting paid out in Chi based off of the hash rate of the block. Because if you think about proof of work, then really for Bitcoin, like we'll take Bitcoin here as a simple example, the halvings starting off at 50 BTC per block and going every 4 years from 50 to 25, 12.5, and so on, really don't tell you anything about how adopted Bitcoin is. Because if there was one person in the world using Bitcoin, then it would still continue that same trajectory. And it would say, okay, even if it's just one person mining Bitcoin, it goes from 50 to 25 to 12.5. And now if there's 1 million people mining Bitcoin, it would do the exact same thing. And so the actual emissions of Bitcoin don't tell you anything about its growth. But on the flip side, if you look at the hash rate of Bitcoin and how much hash there is, it actually does tell you something. Because if Bitcoin price goes up, well, the hash rate's going to go up because those emissions aren't changing. And so that really creates a unique lever there that you can play with, because you can say, well, now if the hash rate's going up, that tells you something about the value. Oh, wait, that's telling you something about the real world in a decentralized way, because everyone is making their own decisions on the value of Bitcoin. You know, if Bitcoin price goes up, then mining is going to go up, but also mining could go up because other reasons that might be not reflected in the Bitcoin price yet. Although I will say historically, hash rate typically does follow price. And so we've sort of used that proof of work as an oracle there to tell us something about the value of the system and the value of the network. And in doing so, we can pull that metric out as a reference point of stability to use in that Quai and Chi controller design.
It's a good design. I think it's very clever actually how that's done. So with the Quai token, does that have a supply cap on it? And I'm assuming Chi doesn't.
So they actually are both not fixed in supply, and so we've looked at Quai emissions being roughly disinflationary. So inflation trends towards zero over time, and it would have a system like Monero in terms of that cap. So in perpetuity, miners will have rewards versus a diminishing budget where we don't really have to do a hard fork or do something later on whenever rewards sort of trend towards zero, and in case fees can't subsidize chain security fully. So we do think it is important to have that tail emission in Quai rewards. And then you are right, it's sort of intuitively, since hash rate isn't capped there, that there also would not be a cap for Chi. And so the thing with Chi though is there will be as much sort of supply of Chi in existence as there is demand for Chi, or else it would kind of go back into Quai. So right now we're in the early process of bootstrapping Chi, sort of getting it out in the world, since it is having to be mined and being created through this physical process versus being just created in a bank ledger and modifying an Excel sheet and having it get reflected that way. So it's in its earlier bootstrapping days. But to answer your question succinctly, they would both be sort of uncapped tokens for that reason.
Yeah, fair enough. Again, I like hearing about different ways people come up with, I like hearing about different networks and their sort of the way they handle how they handle things for future proofing and like that. So it's like I said, for me, it's just all interesting. I like to hear other perspectives. I saw Ashton had his hand up.
I was kind of hoping that you didn't see that. The question was around the supply caps, to be honest, so you kind of stole it from me, and so I put my hand down. But I do have another one. It's probably a question that's like best answered by the white paper itself, and I haven't read that, so I have to preface that I should probably just go research this. But you said something really interesting about the value of Chi being directly tied to network hash rate. I don't know if this is the best space to get into those mechanics, but I'm curious about the ability to manipulate that by a large miner. Again, I should probably go research this first, but my first thought was like, if I have a Marathon Digital on Quai and they're a massive mining supplier, can't they change the value of Chi by turning off and on their farm?
Yeah, great question, and more than glad to get into the nitty gritty here. I think again that boils down a lot to profitability, and if Marathon has an extremely low cost to come into the network, then what they're ultimately going to do is displace a lot of other miners that are mining unprofitably, and we've actually seen that pretty heavily in the short time that Quai has been on mainnet. And closer to launch, we were at 4 terahash, which equated to roughly 150,000 GPUs, which put us in some of the larger GPU mined coins for that sort of network launch. And then over time, we actually saw it shrink all the way down to 800, 700 gigahash, which again goes down to about 20,000. So that flex between 20,000 and 150,000 really again boils down to the profitability, the pricing of the token, and then how adaptable GPU mining is. Because again, for GPU mining, I think it varies heavily from ASIC mining, because oftentimes a lot of ASIC miners, they are more kind of tied to that coin with their specific ASICs, and they'll more so just turn off their hardware if it's not as profitable as their electricity costs. And so that electricity cost is really sort of that basis for if you're running your ASIC or not. But in the GPU setting, since GPUs are more flexible in terms of what they can mine, if you look at like a Vast AI, Clore AI, IONET, AI Execution Job, Salad, you name it, or even other crypto tokens, they can go to whatever else is more profitable and instead just buy the token. And so I would say, to kind of circle back on the main point, is if you were to have a larger miner come in with a lower cost of capital and a lower OPEX cost to mine Quai, what they would ultimately do is they would displace some of those other GPU miners in that setting. And you're right to some degree. There could be a margin between how unprofitable people mine, how quickly they shift, what people's future expectation values are around the tokens. But I would say even in that case, miners would more so choose to mine Quai because of sort of their long-term preference around that rather than Chi. So I would say at the edge it gets a little fuzzy, but the hash rate would ultimately adjust to what is most profitable at that time.
Yeah, that explanation actually makes a lot of sense and adds a good layer of clarity. It sounds like it's really the game theory of GPUs being so universal, right? You could just use them for AI workloads or something like this, right? So the gamification of mining Chi and then the hash rate itself, it's almost like this problem for probably 95%, 99% of cases is self-solved by the game theory of the platform. And then, like you said, there's just some niche edge cases that need to be worked out or understood what actually happens in those scenarios.
Totally. And I would say that's most things in life, and,
yeah,
and great
course.
question on that too. So, for us, it's constantly evaluating, how that works. And again, we're in that bootstrapping phase of bringing supply online, and we can't get enough people to mine Chi right now. That's actually one of our predicaments, is we want more of the supply to come into market so that we can do things like creating enough liquidity against pools on dexes and bridging it to other blockchains and making sure that people can get it easily. So if anything, I'm like, someone please come mine more Chi.
Cool. Makes a lot of sense. And I actually love mining, so I might try it out just for shits and giggles of giving it a shot. What's the best area to find information on starting if we wanted to?
Yeah, ku.ai/docs is a great place to start. And I will give a shout out to AlphaMine as a pool. They have a Chi pool set up in several servers and geographies. So depending on where you're at in the world, I think they just spun up their Asia proxy for mining Chi. So that's pretty cool. And again, kind of seeing that infrastructure, the software come online to do all of it. And yeah, ku.ai/docs will be best.
Cool. Right on. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, man.
So it's quite interesting. So are you trying to remain sort of ASIC resistant and try and keep with GPUs and CPUs?
We are, yeah. So we've actually taken the hash algorithm from what Ethereum was going to move to before they moved to proof of stake. And so Ethereum started originally on Fhash, and they were going to move to a system called ProgPal. And I would say the other token that is closest to ProgPal is Ravencoin, and they're on, I want to say it's called RavenPal, or some other type of variant of ProgPal. But essentially, we use ProgPal as that, which is a DAG heavy, GPU heavy algorithm. It's a little harder on energy efficiency, so it runs pretty hot. So I think a lot of people like to mine more so for quiet night, to depending on what their electricity usage is and their infrastructure setup is. But from that side, yes, GPU, and there's many reasons. And I talked earlier on the space in terms of remaining decentralized, remaining accessible. If you look at GPU mining, it is one of the lowest barriers of entry to actually take part. You can get a $300 setup. Sure, it's not going to be the most efficient. You're not going to be running 600 mega hash, but you might be able to get 35, 40 mega hash depending on which GPU you use. And even then, you can probably pick up an old NVIDIA 170 MH or MX, and those were more of the sort of specific mining cards, and those I think are even $200 now. And so for us, the ability to sort of have that and run it in a desktop, run it on a lower wattage is a really powerful feature. And then also, if you sort of go really hardcore, GPUs, again, having that ubiquitous use, being able to run it for AI or run it for something else, it helps maintain that value for the hardware in the longer term, because you can always repurpose it. You can sell it for gaming, you can sell it for some other thing, or you can use it for your own usage. And in this future where everyone has AI in their home and you're doing more AI execution, well, it pairs really nicely with that. And from a geographic perspective, if you look at sort of resistance and geopolitical resistance, if you're importing and exporting GPUs, you don't really know that's for Quai mining. But if you're importing and exporting Bitcoin ASICs, well, you can kind of tell it's for mining Bitcoin. So if you have countries that aren't friendly to Bitcoin or aren't friendly to crypto, then you're sort of not really helping people in that country get access to mining in that way. And so kind of similarly with proof of stake, you don't have access to run the system if they shut down your banking rails. And so how can I validate Ethereum if I can't buy Ethereum? And so I think there's a really nice thing to be said about how quickly you can run and mine and solo mine with a GPU using the setup.
So how does the algo actually work? Is it similar to like Monero, for example, where it just constantly switches the algo to like stop? Because I may be completely wrong again, but with people that try to remain ASIC resistant, if their algo is just the same as, like, it stays the same, it's easy enough for someone to come online with an ASIC to replicate that algo, and then obviously you've got ASICs then.
Yeah, so you'll kind of see that in the earlier days with people designing FPGAs, and they'll kind of build a bit stream that targets that hash algorithm. So even if you don't have an ASIC in your proof of work coin, you'll have people get FPGAs, and they'll have some better. They'll have a pretty good increase in efficiency there. But what we've actually done is with ProgPal, it runs on epochs, and it utilizes entropy from the blockchain into a mixed hash. And that mixed hash is what helps calculate the epochs. And I think our epoch time is like every month, every other month. I'll have to check with some of the more of the core devs on that. But essentially that helps keep it GPU friendly. And that GPU then again does utilize kind of more of the VRAM space and have more of the sort of memory IO versus something that is more CPU bound. And so when you talk about things like Monero and RandomX, those are going to be more towards your threads and the ability to execute efficiently across those threads. And so you can still get pretty good efficiency from things like a Threadripper and 128 cores. But with a GPU, you kind of see a narrower band of efficiency between things like, a 5080, a 4080, a 3090, and the like.
Awesome. Talking about Monero though, that like the one thing that does worry me about sort of just GPU mining is I assume you've seen the chaos that Cubic have started with Monero. Now, is that something that needs to be looked at, not just for you guys, but for all sort of people that try to remain CPU, GPU mineable?
Yeah, I think I'm safer on this space, because I said I'm walking to the lion's den, but I think the enemies of my enemy are my friends here in terms of like the cubic questions. And I think a lot of the Caspa people have looked at that kind of in depth. And I did actually just wrap up a prior space, and people had asked some of the questions on just what I thought there. And I'll start first and foremost. I'm not an expert on cubic. I don't know exactly what their goals are or how the system truly operates. I will say, like, out of all the people, I think Monero is one of the communities that you want to be friendly with. And I think they've done some of the most for crypto in terms of, as I talked about earlier, those values for financial sovereignty and privacy and the right to free speech. I think they do a really good job at that. So I'm not sure what exactly an attack on Monero does outside of like a marketing approach. But I will say, I think for them, it's definitely an awakening. You want to find ways to make the system more secure. And I think that Monero's hash rate and the way it is constructed definitely is more vulnerable relative to its overall market cap. So there is some ways in which that Monero could improve by assessing how vulnerable it is to attack. But ultimately, the system will adjust, and it will find that sort of game theoretic optimal, and it will find that equilibrium point where Monero is secure, and you can use it for transactions, and you can use it to hold value in. And so in terms of hardware as well, when you look at a system like Cubic, again, I'm not totally sure that the breakdown of the hardware, and I don't think it's very transparent, because if you're operating for something that is more AI based, you're going to be having systems that are more GPU inclined. But then if you're pivoting those GPUs to something like a RandomX, that's a CPU mined algorithm. And so I think some of the efficiency there isn't as obvious. And I think that in practice, when they go through these attacks, they're not as successful, or they're not as obvious as they're made out to be kind of beforehand.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just for me.
I would be interested to hear kind of what other speakers here kind of think about it as well.
What about the attack that's happening on Monero?
Yeah,
totally. I think it's a good topic to have, actually, because I think what this is like, the CFB is just so nonchalant about it as well. He's just like, he just posts threads about this, and oh yeah, we're just doing this, and we'll stop at 60% when we've got 6% hash rate and things like this. And I just think, what the hell are you doing? Like you said, Monero should be looked at as a good thing, in my opinion. I think Monero do have done a lot of good for the space, and I get, like, they're one of the only privacy tokens as well, or privacy coins as well, that and even getting kicked off of all exchanges and things like that, they still had a community and still were going. What really does shock me about the whole drama of this is that it seems like a lot of miners that were mining Monero are switching to Cubic's pool, and it just, like, as a social consensus there, I just think, what the hell are you doing? Because you're by doing that, you're actively helping Cubic potentially gain 51% of the hash rate. And I just think, why are you doing it to yourselves? Like, what, like, is the money you're getting really that? And I suppose it is. I suppose it's a greed thing. I don't know. It's a shame, really.
It has to be a greed thing. I mean, CFB posted 8 minutes ago on my timeline that says the Cubic community and validators have decided to pay even more money to Monero miners. You are welcome to join us.
That's what I mean.
It's an attack that is literally hostile takeover style attack. Make everyone really excited that you're coming, and then get there, get the power, and then they'll be really pissed off you came.
It's really frustrating to see, to be honest with you. It just. But unfortunately, like, this is the wake up call for everyone. I think this is reality, and this is what actually worries me to some degree with Bitcoin, is where we're getting a lot of centralization of Bitcoin in terms of like hash rate. I mean, I think, is it like 3? And I know they're pools, so it's technically not, but I think it's like 2 or 3 pools control over 51% of the hash rate. Like, again, if they ever tried something like an attack, obviously people would, well, you'd think they'd direct their hash away from the pool. But this is showing that people even if they love a project or a network, they will just chase the money, possibly. And this is for me is what it's showing. And I don't. It's a wake up call for me, because I just think you'd like to think everybody's in the crypto community because we want a more decentralized approach and at least a decentralized choice in life. But then money talks, doesn't it? And it's just a shame that it goes like that.
Well, this is kind of the truth for any section of society, right? I mean, we all want equal rights for everybody, but how many people are willing to go protest and do work about it, right? I mean, it's a good exercise from like a long-term social aspect.
I'm not sure.
And a reminder that so much of this was started by cypherpunks that were passionate, that cared about upheaving the system. Can't hear me?
Ashton, yeah, sorry, you cut off halfway through what you were saying there at the last part.
And it sounded really good as well. Can you say?
Yeah, it did.
A one-time thing, man. I don't know what it was. No, I was just saying, like, it happens everywhere in society, right? I mean, like, it's we all want equal rights for something, but we won't protest for it, or very few people will, right? And I think it's a good exercise for the whole crypto community over the long term to experience this and realize that so much of this was started by like passionate cypherpunks that wanted to upend the system, and the vast majority now are here to make a quick buck. And we can't have both, right? We can't want mass adoption across the whole world and not recognize or be so naive that we don't realize that that's what happens, right? People become interested in their own interests, not in the cause. So I think all this circles back to the way Jonathan talks about Caspa, right? I mean, if you hear a conversation with him about like MEV resistance or something like this, his take is always, how do we incentivize people to do the right thing rather than think we can control them or preclude them from doing the bad thing? And to Alan's point, I mean, his answer to me on the Chi thing is kind of that exactly, right? It's not like, hey, we can cover every single scenario and make sure it's perfect, but we can build the theory, build the system, the game theory, so that almost every time people are incentivized to do the right thing. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so
your own research, I guess, gotta be
Ashton,
careful.
you got a great point, and I think they said it well. You were riffing, and the whole point of proof of work in these systems is to create a monetary system that you're comfortable with your enemy using, and you can create a way in which that no matter how they try to change the rules, and no matter how they have an advantage or they have some other hidden agenda, that everyone can still agree and come to consensus. And I think that is really like the key breakthrough that Satoshi achieved with Bitcoin. And since then, we've seen this Cambrian explosion of other designs and trade-offs and things that we're all still trying to figure out. The game is still very early in which system is going to win this and who created the best system for money that everyone can use and can agree upon. And when you travel the world, you can still settle in that same sort of value and you don't have to swap between other currencies, and you're okay with understanding that we're all abiding by the same rules. And so to sort of tie that idea back into what's happening with Cubic and Monero and looping that thread back, I think really, again, it's a challenge against that game theoretic design and that outcome and what is optimal. Because if you're looking from a Cubic standpoint, you have to ask, where is that money coming from? Where is that incentive coming from? Is it coming from Monero emissions? Well, if you're just taking Monero emissions and buying Cubic and giving Cubic to the miners, well, isn't that also a form of emissions? So does that really just make this a wrapper for a mining pool? And if you're paying extra emissions for a mining pool, how sustainable is that kind of thing? And so, really you have to boil it down to like, where is this flow and demand coming from? Because at the end of the day, the economics and the game theory will have to reign true in terms of how people act and what they do from a rational standpoint.
Yeah, 100%, man. And the idea of paying extra to Monero miners, like you said, is not sustainable. It is literally just a temporary, hostile takeover or achievement of some goal from CFB or the Cubic side.
I think what they're doing, and again, I may be wrong because I haven't really done a deep dive into this, but I think what they're doing is they're the miners that are mining on the Cubic pool, because Cubic uses useful proof of work, the proof of work there goes towards AI, but that AI helps with the mining of Monero, so the Monero that they get or the XMR they get gets automatically sold for USDT, then that gets transferred to Cubic. They buy Cubic with the USDT, and then I think, and I don't exactly know how this works, they definitely burn at least some of that supply. So they're burning the supply of Cubic to help the price go up. But again, I don't know how that actually makes it profitable for the miners, because surely you just give the miners the Cubic. And it is, like I said, I haven't done enough of a deep dive into it. But I mean, whatever's happening is obviously working for the time being, and it goes exactly to both of your points why Satoshi made an incredible system. Even you're in, like, everyone just, you can't change the rules. Everyone sticks to the rules, even if they're doing the wrong thing. And again, that's why I like Jonathan's approach. It's very, I understand that there are bad people out there. How do we incentivize them to do the right thing? I think it was, I can't remember his name, and I really like him. He's a good economist, Milton Friedman. He said that because it's all about incentives. You've got to make it profitable for the wrong people to do the right thing, and that's the sort of system you're trying to create. And unfortunately, with Monero, it seems like, because incentives work both ways. If you can incentivize someone to do the bad thing, they'll do the bad thing because they're incentivized to do it. And it looks like that is exactly what Cubic is doing. And unfortunately, they seem to be doing it fairly successfully. I think Monero managed to DDoS attack Cubic to some degree, but again, I don't know how long that can last. And I mean, he's laughing about it, essentially saying every time they DDoS attack us, it helps us because we see where our security is lacking, and we can just sort of help that. He's like a fucking, I don't know, like a evil villain in a film, but in the crypto world. It's unreal, honestly. It's like we're living in a real life crypto villain world. It's crazy.
Fucking
like a Marvel
skinny version of Lex Luthor or some shit.
yeah. I can't believe how brazen he is about it as well. I just think, God, you are something else. But this is the reality of the world. There are people like that, and there are plenty of people like that. And yeah, like I said, the incentive's there for people to do the wrong thing, unfortunately, and it's working.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a choice but to be so brazen about that. I mean, that type of attack and goal, whatever journey that they're on. I mean, if you try to hide it and you tell only a couple people and it comes out on X, that's a huge FUD conversation mass. When you just say it plainly, people go, "Oh shit, okay, that's what we're doing."
Yeah, he's embraced his role.
Yeah, he really has.
100%.
Every epic movie needs a villain, and but we know what happens to them in the end.
I just think there's so many better missions to accomplish in crypto. And there's so many other things that we can do in this world.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. And I do. But again, it's that you're always going to get the wrong people, aren't you? And unfortunately, he's incentivizing people to do the wrong thing. And I really hope it doesn't work, and I hope this all blows over and lots of people learn from it. But it's not great. It really isn't. I'm not happy with it. But what can we do? And I think this is the point of why personally I love proof of work, is because it, especially under like a sort of at least a sort of Nakamoto consensus style, is that you have got that security there. Like you said, it's not it's solved that problem. It's solved the problem of people doing the wrong thing. Like you said, your enemy can use the network, and it's nothing about the network changes. So, and that's why I like proof of work, and not dogging on Paw Chain at all down there, but proof of stake. That's the vulnerability there, for people to be able to, like the rich get richer type deal, especially with validators and things like that. It's not trustless. You're trusting someone to a certain degree, and so that's why I do champion proof of work, especially for things like what we're trying to achieve, all of us in the space, in that side of the space. But yeah, it's just such a shame to see that happening to Monero, and I hope they figure something out. But I don't know what can be done because I'm not that intelligent. Ashton, you're really intelligent. What can they do?
I am not that intelligent.
Nope, just me then.
Mixed up, brother.
Hey, Juan had an awesome question. So, I don't know. Are we getting cut out? What's going on? Nah.
No, I don't think so. I responded to Chris, and it sounded like he just didn't hear me. I just said I'm not that intelligent.
Yeah, I heard that.
I didn't hear that.
Everybody heard that.
I didn't hear that at all. Was it an awkward silence after you said it as well?
Consensus. That was consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And it was awkward.
I'm so sorry, bro. I genuinely didn't hear it. Oh, I didn't mean to leave you hanging.
Man, sorry, I was saying Juan had a great question, so I passed on the mic. Glad you joined us, bro. Would you like to ask that question?
Yeah, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me up. Yeah, I wrote the question there in the comments. I'm obviously still learning the technical side of things, and I'm sad about like what's happening in Monero because I've heard great things about what they've tried to accomplish. So my question was for anybody in the panel, anybody technical. I had seen Caspa Silver post how the way Caspa set up because of the block speed or how we deploy the blocks that it would disincentivize anybody trying to do that with Caspa. So my question was like, if any of you would know, specifics on how that wouldn't work, towards an attack on Caspa. And your legends. I wrote that in the comments too. So.
I was actually waiting for you to finish. No.
That's it. I'm done. I'll mute myself. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it wouldn't really, because I think the hash rate works differently because we've got ASICs. It's a lot harder to attack the network in that style. Not to say it can't be done, but it's more costly. But I think in terms of a double spend attack, so it depends what attack you're going for. Again, Cubic haven't technically attacked Monero yet. It's just if they get to 51%, they could reorg to some degree. Whether they do a double spend attack or whether they, I don't know, change, like go to a different. I actually don't know how Monero works. Whether they run on the longest chain rule. Does anyone know? But
I believe so. I think it's a traditional Nakamoto consensus.
Oh, it is. So yeah. So again, they could split the chain and go for the basically what should be the longest chain. They split it to their chain that they've been building. So it depends on the attack that they're wanting to do. But I think in terms of Caspa, it's harder to do a double spend because you're constantly trying to catch up with such a fast block rate, and the way the Ghostag protocol like gets a consensus is through it's similar to it's the weight of the block basically, so or the amount of work done. So the amount the more blue score you have pointing to all the honest blocks, the better it. So you've got to try and beat that blue score as a red block, if you know what I mean, because if you're trying to attack the network, you're going to be a red block because you aren't as well connected as all the other blocks that are honest miners, if you know what I mean. I think I've described that good enough. Ashton would probably be able to do that better.
You got to stop putting me on that pedestal, man. I do not know that much more than you do about this stuff. But I will say that I think the Cubic attack specifically is really just economically disincentivized for Caspa, because the benefit that they have in Cubic or what they claim, I mean, I haven't validated any of this, but it sounds like they are using the mining power from Cubic miners to do other activities, right? Power AI workloads. So they have a different revenue stream that might overcome the revenue stream of Monero mining directly. So I think their whole like marketing hostile takeover thing play with this is like take a loss on the AI money you're getting. Whatever workloads you're running on the Cubic side, take a loss, take some of that money to pay Monero miners and incentivize them more. And you just wouldn't be able to do that with any ASIC mined coin because the ASICs can't do anything but hash. So if you're acquiring all of this hardware to take over Caspa, I mean, first of all, you're going to need massive amounts, like countries worth, it feels like. I don't know if that's true, but a lot of hardware. And all it's going to do is mine Caspa. So could you, in theory, get to 51% or 70? Yeah, sure. It's possible. But you're not going to have any like extra revenue source to incentivize people to join you. You're just going to be mining Cas with bad intentions.
And I'll chime in a little more there on a couple of the nuance on the consensus and the economic finality. So if you look at Caspa in particular, it's doing about $380,000 a day in proof of work hash and proof of work emissions. And the funny part about a 51% attack that I think a lot of people get wrong is that you're actually not doing a 51% attack. If you're trying to roll back and reorg the chain, you're actually doing a 100% attack because you have to go and take on all of the honest miners that won't go and join your fork. And in the case for Caspa, if you were to go and attack it today and you don't co-opt any of the existing miners, you're looking at a sustained attack just for the OPEX for hash of about $380,000 a day. And then if you were to go try to acquire those ASICs, which again is one of the better traits of ASICs, I will say, is having them mined particularly for the one coin versus the trade-offs that exist with GPUs. And so, you have to go get all those ASICs, and you're probably trying to buy them from people that are already mining Caspa already. So unless they have a good reason to not mine Caspa anymore, or you're actually going to go and create a lot of new ASICs, which is going to be more than the cost of just acquiring new ones, then you're going to have a hard time accumulating that hardware. And so in this case for Cubic, your cost is basically out the window for the attack there. And then even then, if you were to try to apply this to a GPU system, you're again doing it what looks like a 100% attack because you're having to go and create the same honest hash rate just on a dishonest fork. And so for the attack, though, I would say a lot of the nuance is again, more so just around the economic finality there, whether it's for Caspa with Dagonite, like red blocks or blue blocks. It's more so like an attacker will still be creating a system that has all of the same blocks at that BPS with that daily hash that they're doing. And so it's more so what's their total accumulated work with that chain, because a dishonest chain would look a lot like an honest chain just with the sort of same amounts of blocks produced there.
Alan, wouldn't you argue that the 51% metric is still relevant, though, because of fork potentials? Like, I get what you're saying, and the 100% thing and the math and the hardware, like 100% on board with you. But if we do get 51% on a dishonest chain, it still has a risk of causing problems that are as equally damning as the 100% attack you just described.
Yeah,
right?
yes and no, right? So you're talking more so like at the edge whenever someone does accumulate 51% there, and it is public, because if you were to run a private chain, then it would be the 100% case. But if you're running a public chain and you are accruing 51%, or you're getting close to that 51% threshold, then it's going to become sort of an edge just in terms of sort of an issue in regards to the finality there and how long you have to wait. And I think that's exactly kind of what CFB is doing when he tweets like, hey, like we're going to get a 51% attack. We're going to be doing this in coordination with the existing public chain rather than running a completely separate fork. So there are some blocks that they might be broadcasting and having included with the honest chain and that follow all the rules and validate all the transactions correctly. But then they might try to withhold some blocks. And all that really does in some cases is slow down the chain and delay some of that economic finality, because if you're withholding, say, every 1 out of 2 blocks, then your block time slow down, and then the sort of progression of the network stalls a little bit, and then you might have to wait for more blocks to get that same economic finality that you would have gotten in that honest scenario. And so I think we're getting to the point here where we're going to need more of the PhDs in the room than some of the armchair PhDs. But in that case, yeah, I mean, it does get a little harder for that economic finality to kick in whenever you don't have as frequent block production. But in the systems that can adjust difficulty fast enough and are responsive to some of that, then I think some of that might be not as effective if they were to attack it that way. But yeah, you do get degraded performance if they are doing a continuous 51% attack on that honest chain.
Right on. Makes a lot of sense.
Awesome. Cheers for that, Alan. Levendi, do we actually have any questions for Alan and Kwai?
Well, firstly, I didn't realize I was mispronouncing it earlier. I didn't realize it was Quai. I was calling it QAI all this time. It's like a crumpet, but
no worries,
yeah,
we get it a lot.
It sounds like an AI coin. QAI.
Yeah, you know what, it really does. Hearing myself saying it back now and looking back now, but yeah, the Kwai. We had Juan come up, but other than Juan, there has been no other questions directed at there. I think Alan spoke very, very well, and I feel like everybody understood what's going on.
Fair enough. Alan, is there anything you wanted to add at all?
No, not at all. I think, we had a lot of time on the space, so I appreciate you guys letting me, cover a lot here. And as I said earlier, I think there's a lot we can all work towards together on, and hopefully there are more ways we can collaborate in the future, and hopefully look forward to join back on some of these spaces. I think this was a good one here, and we do our spaces Fridays for Kwai, so if people want to jump in on that, more than welcome to. And if you guys want to run some of that again, I think that can be a good switch up between Mondays and Fridays.
Sounds good, man. And to be honest with you, I've been on one space of yours before, and I actually really like the way you handle questions, because you do seem extremely honest about your approach of things, and you obviously know a lot about what you're talking about, which really does help. But you seem to approach it in a really honest manner, and you've even done it today, I feel. So appreciate your time coming up and telling us all about what you're doing. And again, proof of work for me is the way, to be honest with you. I want to see more proof of work, and I think actually what you're doing with Kwai, because again, proof of work is so good, but obviously it's always had that trade-off with scalability. And I like seeing, even like Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. I mean, we always joke about and say how much we hate them, but to be honest with you, I do actually like people's approach of different ways of using proof of work, because it's like you said, it's all working towards something. Like it's I don't know, I'm trying to say it in the right way, but trying to solve that problem, the trilemma, for example, is a really hard thing to do, obviously, which is partly why proof of stake was even formed. I know there's other energy concerns, but a lot, again, part of it was we can't scale this. We can't scale proof of work without it like destroying the security side of things. And I think it's really good to see people try and make proof of work great again. So again, I really like your approach as well of what you're doing, where you've got you've actually sort of split the store of value and the medium of exchange. So it's not just one coin that's holding that. You've sort of split it within your ecosystem or within your network. And I think it's a good idea. I think it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, we're all in it sort of for the same thing, I feel.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, there was a time where we were fighting the ESG narratives and the woke mafia and the people who said that proof of work is going to cause the world to burn in 5 years. We haven't gotten to that point. Not only that, but we've gone on to prove how it can be more efficient and better than proof of stake systems. And I think the tide's going to turn back. And I think that Caspa and Kwai both are fighting a lot of the same narratives. And we've proven to people in different ways how to accomplish various goals. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty spot on, Chris. And I will say, I'm going to jump, guys. I appreciate you having me. Love to be back on for future spaces. And I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate your time. See you later.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it, mate. Awesome. Chad, what's going on, man? It's been a while since we spoke. What's happening? How's things going?
We're switching gears now, talking less about technical things.
Yeah, a conversation me and you can have.
Woo! I feel so much more comfortable. Your guys' brains are too big.
So, tell us how you would reorg Bitcoin's network. Oh dear. It's good to see you back again, man. Like we'll say, see you back. You've been here, but yeah. I don't know how much the audience know, but you had a bit of surgery, didn't you?
I had a little surgery. Yeah,
like I said, I don't want to be putting your
it's
personal life
okay.
out there.
It's so I had a valve replacement, so open heart. So yeah, they cut me right open. So that was June 10th. So I've been recovering since, back to work now, kind of. And obviously you've seen we haven't slowed down on creating content, but yeah, it's been a journey, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody.
No, I can only imagine, man. But like on your point, so a lot of people wouldn't have even known you had the surgery because you have been so active still, with just all over the space, but particularly with Caspa Commons as well. Which again, if you're listening in the audience, fantastic page to follow. Go follow Caspa Commons. They put out some really good stuff. But yeah, I mean, you haven't slowed down at all. In fact, I was speaking to you pretty much a day or two after your operation, and you were pretty much at it again.
Yeah, I was getting heck from my nurses and such for being online, because it was I come in and they see me with the laptop up, and they're like, "You're supposed to be resting," but yeah, we all know Caspa is an addiction, so.
Tell me about it, man. It's crazy. It could.
No, I just couldn't slow down. I mean, we transitioned from managing the larger account on May 5th. So the goal was to carry on with that strategy with Caspa_Commons. And we accelerated the content. So we've been posting, 4 or 5, 6 times a day, and educational content and adoption content and celebrating the community and events. So it was almost like, I could have just paused and said, I'm under, I'm recovering, but I kind of turned the switch on. Like it was, May 5th, and after that, it was like you can't turn off the fire hose. So we carried on.
And you've done a brilliant job of it as well. I mean, it's no secret. I love your style of branding and marketing, especially the very grassroots side of things. And I think that really does. I think your style of sort of grassroots movement, especially when you had the other account, did really help Caspa adoption. I think it done a fantastic job, and your branding, again, like I said, is on point. I even love, even the because some people might not even know, but the Powered by Caspa, that's your brainchild as well. Rock the Caspa is your brainchild as well. We're just the faces of it, but that was your idea. You came up with Rock the Caspa. I'm a show off, so I sort of jumped at the chance to do it. But but again, all of that branding, you've done an incredible amount of work for the Caspa space, and you continue to do so. So it's really good to see. Even after open heart surgery.
Yeah. Nothing's holding me back. Yeah, it's definitely a passion, and I believe in the project. I mean, even despite any of the drama that some people might think is going on, it's and it's good we had this chat just recently on the show here, because we were talking about doing things for the common good and versus power and control. You take a look at a project like Caspa, and you listen to the interviews, and you read the articles from Jonathan and Michael and Shai and others, and you just realize there's something special about this project. It's not just about the charts and price, and so we almost need to double down on this side of the project. We can talk about Caspa as a currency, and we also can say it's a sort of value, but it really is a settlement layer. It's a technology that can help in a lot of areas, and that's why one of the series we've been working on, and I think it's going to last us a year, is the Powered by Caspa series. I mean, we're looking at 60 plus enterprise markets that could be disrupted by Caspa, and I think we're on number 7. So So this is my excitement. I'm more excited about how technology like this can change the world and help people, from that altruistic viewpoint. And so that's why we're so passionate about it. It's more than just a cool project, and we're brand builders, and we love to see that. But there's definitely a ulterior motive, passion project, altruistic kind of vibe going on for us. So excited to, and that's why we love to, we branded Rock the Caspa, Cas Media, Caspa obviously, and powered by Caspa, and all these things. It's just us, doing our best to make everything about Caspa authentic and also marketable. And that's just something we have to do within the modern crypto space. Is unlike what Bitcoin did. Bitcoin was the protest, and really, did an amazing job to like shake and wake up the world. Caspa is the proposal. Like we're in the same boat. Like we're saying, hey, we need to change these things about all these systems. But here's the proposal, and here's what we can do. Here's the solution, and how we can do it better. And so that's why I'm on board.
But this is like going to your point as well. This is exactly, I think, what sometimes we may miss, like especially with the sort of Bitcoin drama that I say drama, but the sort of we back and forth with Bitcoiners or certain Bitcoiners, blah 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 blah. But I think we get so focused on. Maybe we don't get so focused on it, but it may come across that we get so focused on, but we're the better Bitcoin, and it's like, but we don't need to be the better bit. Like we're not anything. We don't need to be money. We don't need to be this. We don't need, because we can be so much more else than that. It's not to say we couldn't be money. We could, but we don't have to be money. We can be a payment rail. We can be, I don't know, just you, like you said, you've got a whole use case of what Caspa could be used for. And
the narrative needs to be a universal tech.
Yes, exactly that. That is,
don't get distracted by currency and all these things. Like, it's a myth about, we only use 4% of our brains. We actually use 100%. But the idea that cryptocurrency is a fraction, it's a slice of the pie of what blockchain technology can do. And for years, 16 years or whatever, the focus has been on currency, and it's a distraction, because the power of the blockchain or the block DAG goes well beyond just a currency, medium of exchange. So I think we need to push into that narrative. It needs to be more about a universal tech that can be all three things. And I posted about it just recently, about it's a store of value, it's a medium exchange, it's a settlement layer, powerful DLT. So I think the narrative, we get a little distracted, and it's been fun with the Bitcoiners and the maxis. But really we're kind of fighting for this little slice of the pie, when we really should be proud of the fact that the technology is able to do, the 96% of what needs to happen. So
100%, man. And that's a perfect way to look at it as well. Like crypto in general is not adopted on any sort of scale, really. It's starting to with Bitcoin, which is good. That is good. But by any scale, we're not really mega adopted. But that's a good thing. We don't have to try and take over Bitcoin or anything like that. We don't even need to talk to Bitcoiners, if you know. And I don't mean that in a like a bitchy way, but we don't need to focus our energy there. We can focus our energy on the whole world that doesn't even know about crypto, because Caspa can actually give them some, like, not that, again, I don't want to be bitchy about Bitcoin, but it can actually be useful to them to some degree in so much more than just money, so much more than just that. It can do so much more for them. And actually, for some people, they won't even know they're using Caspa.
That's the whole point. That's the Powered by Caspa initiative, right? It's the Intel inside, right? It's like, you didn't even know you're using this stuff, and you're paying your energy bill. You're doing all these things, and you haven't a clue, and you may not ever see the word or the brand Caspa. And that's That's the win. That's the success of a technology like Caspa. Is, you know, at some point, you know, Intel was making all this technology inside all these computers and nobody cared and nobody knew about it, and they came out with this Intel Inside and it just blew up. You know, I think Caspa would be the same. It would be powered by Caspa. People won't even know, and eventually they might find out about it, but it's okay. It's the power behind some of these technologies. Let's disrupt. And the percentage of opportunity that's out there far exceeds what people can even dream about within crypto land. So, you know, I think I did some research that Bitcoin in the United States, you know, about 0.007% of people even touch it. So adoption is not even there. It's not adopted, no matter what we hear in the news. You know, governments are taking it on. The adoption is so puny, and it's because they're looking at it through this fraction of a potential, which is currency. And I mean, you wait, like the KII initiative, the Caspa Industrial Initiative, what they're working on, and I'm sure other, you know, foundations and other initiatives will pop up as we go along. But the moment that Caspa becomes a banking standard, or, you know, the moment energy gigawatt coin takes over, I mean, talk about the fees for miners and you know, what's going to happen when there's no more Caspa to be mined. Well, it won't matter. The amount of fees that would be generated through a global enterprise market play with powered by Caspa is going to be mind blowing.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we had Rory up here. I think it was last week, and he said literally the exact same thing. He said, if you're worried about the fee market, just like don't be, because
yeah,
like,
exactly.
they're just one part of what the fees are going to be going towards. If and they've got plenty of ideas, and they're just one, like you said, they're just one initiative. There's going to be a hell of a lot of people when like. And that's normally how business works. When a certain industry has one up on another industry, they have to adopt it, or at least adopt something similar, because they have to keep up. And if they don't keep up, and big business knows this as well, if they don't keep up, they will fall behind. And when they fall behind, they will get obliterated. So they have to keep up with each other.
Exactly.
So yeah, fee market looks like it's going to be good, but I do always try and base myself, and it's not here till it's here. So we should keep pushing for it. I am looking forward to layer 2s coming online for Caspa, because I think it's going to be interesting to see the fee market work there, or the security budget work there, especially with like Ashton's in the audience, obviously, with Moonbound. Things like this, you've got dexes coming on. There's going to be a lot of use case, and even now you've got like Cassia, Verum, K, Crumpet Media. We're like, all of these cool protocols are getting built, either on the layer 1 now or getting ready for the layer 2 to come online. It's exciting stuff for sure, man.
Well, just the fact that they're based rollups helps that conversation so much too. I mean, could you imagine if ETH was getting fees for every single Polygon base transaction? I mean, it's hard to have these conversations sometimes because no one's seen any of these things before. So they go, "Oh, L2, it's gonna take all your network fees," and you're like, "Yeah, if it was your chain, like, but it's not."
That is so true as well. Like, because whenever you hear layer 2, just in the crypto space, automatically you think, all right, so like it's parasitic, it's gonna, like, it's taking fees away. But no, like this, I'm pretty sure this is the first time, or will be the first time, that a base rollup has been implemented successfully. I know Ethereum had a base rollup, but I don't think basically the base layer, like Ethereum's base layer, couldn't handle it. So I think this will be the first successful base roll up, and
it will be 100%.
Fucking huge news.
It is, but going back to what Ashton's saying, nobody's really seen it before, so they're not ready for it. They're used to how L2s have been traditionally being built. A biggest example of that on the timeline was this Rajat person that sat down with Kaspa Silver, right? He showcased that exact thing what Ashton was saying all across the timeline.
Yeah, the baseline that people have is so archaic. I mean, they're basing their idea of speed and programming and L2 and rollups. They're basing it on this, previous technology, and they just need to see it. I mean, it's the simple as we went to all these conferences last year, and the best thing we could do is just show the block DAG and show the speed, and then send them some CAS, and it was like it blew their minds. And I'm thinking, like, really, like, what, you didn't know about this, or this isn't. And it's the very fact that it's not what's been. This isn't your grandma's coin. This is something new and innovative. So it's never been seen before, and we just got to keep showing it off.
100%. And to that point as well, like even when Caspa Silver and VJ had their space or their podcast on the YouTube channel, they obviously sent Caspa transaction over, and some of the comments from people from other networks were saying, "Oh yeah, well that's obviously like a validator or it's proof of stake," and it's like because no one can believe
that's all they know
on a proof of work, because that's what we've been ingrained into us. Like, you can't blame them for thinking that, because I'd see it for the first time and think, "Oh yeah, well that's obviously proof of stake," because how can they get it there that quickly on a proof of work? You can't do it. It's incredible, like, really, and we do need to showcase this tech.
I think to give a plug for the Caspa Experience event that's coming up in Berlin, I mean, this is going to be an opportunity to spend an entire day immersed in the Caspa experience. So, buying things, trading, doing all this, and then hopefully there'll be video everywhere, and it will be a showcase of the technology and how it could be in the real world. Buying things, sending, settling. So I'm sadly I can't come to the event, but I just wanted to make a big plug to buy your tickets. I don't know, Ashton, how many tickets are left?
It's a shame we're not going to see you there, man. Sorry, Ashton.
Yeah, I'm bummed.
Yeah, it's okay, Levendi. Yeah, it does suck that we won't see you there, chat. But before I answer your question, just shout out to you and your team, because you guys have been immensely helpful in all this planning, and so much of what people see on site will have not been as good if you guys weren't involved. so thank you very much for everything that you've done.
Been a pleasure.
About 200 or so is the answer to your question. About
200 left?
About half of the max capacity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everyone here buy a ticket.
100%. BBB as well. Bring your Bitcoin bro. They will be blown away.
That's great.
Dude, people need to too, because I agree with Chad. I've been doing some recruiting conversations recently with like Solidity devs and stuff, and I start this conversation. All right, have you heard of Caspa? Do you know what we're talking about at all? And most of them say no. And then I get through just up to like crescendo in the speech, and they're like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "No, it's real. I'm not a scammer. I'm not trying to get you a fake job. Like, here's the links. Go look at it." And then they come back like a week later and go, "Holy shit, this is amazing." Yeah. But on the call, there's not much you can do if people just think it's not true.
Unbelievable.
It is, though. It's so hard to convince someone that, because everyone's looking for an angle. Like, no, there's definitely a trade-off somewhere, like a really big trade-off somewhere. And again, you can't blame people for thinking that, because when I first saw Caspa and heard about it, and it's a trilemma solver, I ignored it because I was like, "What? That's just buzzword. What a load of shite." But then it just kept coming up on my feed, and then eventually I thought, right, I'll have a look. And it's not until you actually send that transaction and you go, "Fuck, it actually is quick." That's quick. Like, I'm not smart enough to verify for myself, so you start asking questions everywhere. Like, what am I missing? There must be something, because this is too good to be true type tech. And the more you go down that rabbit hole, and the people that you start listening to, and actually, I especially when I first found Caspa, I wanted to hear from people like Bitcoiners an argument against it. Like, to disprove Caspa for me, because you're smarter than me. You probably know more than me. Please disprove this for me, because I'm probably missing something. And I have not once, and I do this like, how long have I been in the space for now? The Caspa space. It's got to be 2.5, 3 years maybe, I've not heard one decent argument against the tech. Like, not one. The only ever arguments I get now from that I hear are all speculation. It's all like, and we can speculate too. It's like, so you're at a stalemate. Like, until it happens or doesn't happen, we will never know. But tech-wise, tech for tech, pound for pound, nobody has managed to disprove it at all. And for me, that's just a massive, massive thing. And we need to showcase it to more people. And on Chad's point, the Caspa experience will be 100% perfect for this, because especially if you've got Bitcoin bros, bring them along, because when they see the transactions, even at the door, when they get that $75 worth of Caspa sent to them, it will be instant. And they'll be going, well, what sort of layer 2 is this? Or like, no, it's all on the base layer. This is proof of work, all on the base layer. It is incredible. So yeah, if you do have Bitcoin bros that you want to take to the Caspa experience, bring them along. Everyone's welcome. It's going to be family friendly event, isn't it, Ashton?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Oh, good. But yeah, I mean, I personally, I'm so looking forward to it, and I genuinely am bummed you can't come, Chad. It would be awesome to see you again, man.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe something happened, but looking right now, not so much. But I'll be there in spirit.
Well, like Ashton said as well, like a lot of the work there, like visually, is thanks to you guys. Again, your branding is on point.
Not even just visually, man. We can't cut Chad and the team short. I mean, from a strategy perspective, and they have helped us realize so many of the things that you don't know that you don't know, and that's really valuable. Arguably, maybe more than graphic design, but I think we're happy for all of it.
That's great.
Awesome. So yeah, the main takeaway from all of this shilling is go get your ticket. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the first ever Caspa, proper Caspa event where you can use Cas throughout the day. Use it to buy your food, use it to buy your drinks. What else, Ashton? I don't know. Merch store.
Yeah, I don't know who the merch guy is.
Yeah. There's multiple there, but there's only one you really want to come to. No,
and I think you guys are talking about this being a model, right? Like this should be stamped out in every region around the globe. Like we should have Caspa experience, in Canada and UK. And so I'm hoping, hope it goes well. I hope it's smooth. Obviously you'll, work out some kinks, but when it's all said and done, package this thing up and let's get ambassadors around the globe to run their own.
Craig and I from the Visual Eye had a chat about this last week on Wednesday or Thursday, and he is on the exact same page and in motion already with creating repeatability around the world. I never thought about the ambassadors and like local smaller versions of the event too. It's a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
we definitely want to do one big one a year at least.
Well, I mean, they could even run the full day one. I mean, it's 500 attendees. Some of these meetups, 300 people show up. So, but it's a big event. It's a lot of work and a lot of organization. But yeah, maybe a mini version that could be packaged up in a little kit and handed off to each ambassador to say, hey, run this, this 3-hour event.
Yeah, a little Caspa farmers market in your area.
Yep. They'd be up for it.
Nice, cool.
And the thing about these events is like, we don't want to live in our echo chamber. We need to get out and spread out. And this is why these events are so good. You want to bring people in from the outside. Like, it's cool that a load of Caspians are coming. Obviously, it's cool to hang out with each other and it's cool to keep patting each other on the back. But if we can bring in other other networks, it doesn't have to be Bitcoiners, but if we can bring Bitcoiners, Monero people, I mean, we'll even let XRP people in. We'll even let the rich guys just to experience
double price.
Yeah. But just to experience this, and this is the point, the Caspa experience. I think this is probably the only proof of work network that you can actually experience it quick enough to be able to experience it, if you know what I mean. Like given what Ashton's or what the event's doing is obviously giving you $75 worth of cash as you enter the event. Now, you wouldn't be able to do that with any other network because you'd be waiting forever, or it wouldn't be on a proof of work. Caspa is the only. Sorry.
It would just have to be a multi-day event. You'd check in on Saturday and you'd get it on Monday morning.
I was just going to say that Caspa is the only project that can do a one-day event experience. Because you'd be waiting.
It's so true.
The vendors would be so frustrated. They're like, okay, I'll see you in 20 minutes to come back and make sure this is confirmed.
Yeah, there should be like logos everywhere or slogans like Caspa, where you can eat your pizza warm.
Oh, this is good, man. It's like you put things on shirts or something.
Yeah. Oh dear, I can't wait. It's gonna be so.
We need to get the Caspa, another series that we branded. The Caspa fixes this. I think we need to get some of those stamps created and just see what people do with them. But Caspa fixes it. Caspa fixes this. Boom.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
The stamp seal of approval. Caspa fixes this.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Start handing them out to my kids every time they ask for allowance.
Yeah.
Get this instead.
Defacing
get on board
their money.
Or get out of here.
Yeah. Anyways.
Love it. Levendi, any questions come through at all?
No, but I guess everyone's been enjoying the chat. There's a lot of love that's been coming through. I've been pinning up a few things from the timeline through Crumpet Media, through the Casper event, through Juan's post with the topic earlier about the payment going through, video from Caspa Silva. Shout out Caspa Silva there. But yeah, there's lots of love coming through.
I can see Sir Shields a lot has got his hand up, probably about to say he'll be joining the Casper experience, no doubt.
For sure, no, I couldn't be more bullish on Caspa. I'll just be honest. After sitting in this space, that's awesome. And I just want to say, was it Chad there who said he had the valve replaced? Was that? Man, again, not revealing my age about being a cardiovascular perfusionist, but good for you, man. Glad you're here. Glad to hear that it went well, and just keep rocking on again, everybody. But yeah, it's a great space, man. I am bullish on Caspa now, 100%. I sent messages out now. You guys were saying about integrating into Paw Chain, so we'll wait to see what happens. They're in Western Europe, so I guess they're sleeping now. But let's see.
Appreciate that, man. And yeah, like it would be awesome. Just to at least connect and see if something could be worked on. But see what happens.
It would be awesome to see Paw Chain devs at the Caspa experience, to be honest. You said they're in Europe, so that's not that far away from Berlin.
As far as I know, yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, give it a go. That'd be brilliant. I get first-hand experience to see what Caspa's like. Again, it is quite hard to explain Caspa. It's hard to prove Caspa because so many people are just so many people just think proof of work can't scale without a trade-off somewhere along the line. And once you start digging down that rabbit hole, man, you just naturally become a Caspian, don't you? Like a lot of us. So yeah, it's cool that you're starting your journey, man. let us know how it goes. Keep us updated.
I'll be back. I'll let you know for sure.
Love it, man. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, it sounds like we might be close to wrapping up. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we give a little bit of love to Alex and Verum, his protocol? I might be late to the party here because this post has like nearly 5,000 views on it and a bunch of interactions already. But he put out a nice little graphic that explains the on-chain like fees and cost for the protocol for the social media thing. And I think it cleared up a lot of concerns that other people may have had or like misconceptions they had.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think a lot of people were assuming that it was a 1 CAS fee each time, and it's not. It's sending it back to your wallet for certain activities. So it is just
honestly, it's brilliant. Like putting the transaction on chain but sending to yourself, it's still verifiable and doesn't cost. I saw this graphic and I was like, holy shit, it is brilliant.
Just literally pinned it up.
Nice.
Really, really clever how he's done it. And so it's literally just a transaction fee that you're paying for like setting up your profile, for posting something. And then if you're commenting on someone else's post or liking their post, you can actually adjust the fee to send them basically whatever you want.
Yeah, essentially a tip.
Yeah,
for interacting.
Yeah,
for their content.
I mean, he's an incredibly smart guy. Like as soon as I saw Verum, I was hitting him up in the back end. That sounds really wrong, but I was, and I was just saying, look, man, this is just so incredible what you've done here, and. Yeah, he was just telling me basically this did just start as like some little side project, and then all of a sudden it got like traction and people loved it. And he's making it a protocol. It's not a project, it's a protocol. And for me personally, I just love the cypherpunk because the user experience is everything, and the cypherpunk display is just awesome. Like you can have light mode, dark mode, or cypherpunk or a cyberpunk, and cyberpunk is just awesome. But he's done an incredible job on it, man. Like Verum is awesome, and Verum I think is it Latin for freedom or Aramaic for freedom or truth?
Oh, that's cool.
Truth.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's truth.
Truth.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. That post was, I mean, the fact that it's a protocol and anyone will be able to build front ends and just index that, or not even need an indexer, but use the chain itself as the index for the content on the app is really cool.
Definitely, it is. Again. What is there any other chain that you could do? Like you could do this on other chains, but you couldn't do it with a proof of work security. This is what's just so incredible about it.
Sure. Yeah, somebody would be able to audit or censor your transactions or order them in a certain way to make your comment look stupid, like you responded to the wrong person.
I think so. Ghostband. I like the guy. I know so many people hate him, but I actually like the guy. But he said I just can't see people using services like this because why would they? Like you're paying for it. Like even if it is a small fee, you're paying for something for it. But I think no, for people to understand it, you would, because you are literally that you've got full permission. It's permissionless, censorship resistant, like X, like social media. So that is in itself is just a massive benefit. So for people like us in the UK, for example, we've got this stupid law now where we have to verify who we are and blah blah blah, and it's just all a load of bullshit just to see stuff. And it's not just porn; it's just like everything. Like if it's something political or anything like that, they'll block you from seeing it, and it's not good. Like that's not a good trajectory that we're going down. So stuff like this is needed, and to get around this, a lot of people are obviously paying for VPNs. So they're paying to be able to access something. It's no different for me for paying a small fee to be able to put what you want on a platform and know that it won't get censored and know that you won't get kicked off or banned or anything like that. I think is a step in the right direction. It's something people would pay for, in my opinion.
It's also something
Agreed.
that's socially, like, people should be wanting to pay for over time. Like if you care about the subject and permissionless anti-censorship stuff, we should just naturally be encouraging this and championing it, because like they will eventually see the benefit from not having their content in someone else's hands and not like funding a corporation that makes more and more. I'd much rather send, $1 per post to Chad than Mark Zuckerberg.
100%. Like it is. It's right. Sorry, you caught me. I thought you were going to talk a bit longer, and I just took a bite out of this chocolate I've got. So, and I don't want
getting
people
used
hearing
to-
me munching. It's like muck.
You're getting too used to me pontificating on things every time we talk.
We can't keep up with the development. It's great to see. I mean, this is pre smart contracts as well. Like the programmability of Caspa it's on its way, and we're just going to see these happening every day.
And that again, that's another really good point. We haven't even got smart contracts yet, and you've got these protocols being developed. Like, imagine sort of having this hybrid thing where you've got like a protocol that is cypherpunk about it, like it gives you that decentralization aspect, but also being able to integrate with other chains. Like I don't know, it's exciting. It's going to be really, really good for sure. But yeah, Ashton, before we do, because I think we'll probably wrap up soon. Before we do go, did you have any updates on Moonbound or anything with Nacho?
I'll be really quick. It's been a long space, and it's not like we've had a really good conversation that isn't just updates. So make this really quick. But our weekend was packed for Moonbound. We did a full infrastructure overhaul. I think I personally spent close to 24 hours in the code, and not only did we increase the speed on page about 78% from testing, we also reduced infrastructure cost by like 89%. So I personally am really thrilled about the movement, but for everyone testing, Moonbound just got almost twice as fast. So functionality is roughly the same. The probability markets that we discussed before with Probify are integrated. You can set those up as part of the token flow in that beta test environment right now. And you can click into ones that already have them and play with that. But aside from the infrastructure stuff, there wasn't much like feature change or updates on the page that people will see. But if you've spent any time on Moonbound, you will notice the speed difference. It's significant.
Well, that's an awesome upgrade then.
Yeah, we got our first AWS bill, so I felt motivated.
Yeah, I bet. Oh dear. All in time for what are we? What is only like 28 days away? Is it 27 days away?
Yeah, 27. You're spot on.
Oh, yeah, who's counting, man? Who's counting?
Chris. Is
In fact, if you go to what is it? Cas.live, Caspador's site. He's now set up a countdown timer again because he's done it for Crescendo. He's now done it for when Layer 2 comes on, Casplex Layer 2. So yeah, go check that out if you ever want to get up to date with how long away we are from it.
I'm about to pin that up on the Jumbotron as we covered it with Crumpet Media as well. So just about to add it on there for those that follow in the conversation.
You've been doing a spot-on job with the Crumpet Media posts as well. Like, again, this is why what Crumpet Media is all about, getting the information out there. Crumpet Media is going to be so much more than that. Obviously, we want decentralized media. We don't want people just the problem with legacy media at the moment is they show you what they want you to see. We don't want that. We want a media that is decentralized. I even tried to get Ghostband to write an article on Crumpet Media about why he thinks Nano's the best and why he thinks Caspa's terrible. I want those sort of articles. We want to be sort of, Crumpet Media wants to be chain agnostic to a degree. We are obviously on the Caspa standard, but like for the token, but we want different chains to come and write articles about Crumpet Media. Like Paw Chain, for example, we'd love you to come over and write an article and tell us.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome, like genuinely. And again, we'd want it to be censorship resistant. So even if Ghostband did come on and wrote the most horrendous article about Caspa, he has every right to do that. And then what I really want, and I really, really do want this, because I do believe in people, I want people to make up their own minds, start getting that critical thinking, start going, right, I've got two sides of the story. What do I think is the right direction? I have faith in people, and I want people to get that. I don't want people to just follow blindly all the time. So yeah. Anyway, that's my sort of vision, my goal. I'd love to see that. But yeah, Levendi, you've been smashing the Crumpet Media account. You've done an incredible job there, to be honest with you. I've just muted everyone. I'm so sorry. I don't even know how.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. It's a good thing you're talking to me because we can't mute each
Such
other.
a jerk.
Yeah, right.
Way to end the show,
Censorship
Chris.
resistance by getting censored.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I was just proving a point.
Oh God, not again. What's happened there, bro? Was that you again, or was that me this time?
I don't know. I think everyone's doing it.
It's that time of night. But no, honestly, thank you for the love. I'm trying to cover as many people as I can, you know, between everything that we're doing and day job. And I've missed a few stories. I'm trying to cover breaking news up from the moment they break out up to its first hour, because it's legit breaking news. And also, as we plod along and build and expand, those stories are going to also be developing, and I'll be adding new stories as the website comes out. But we've spoken a lot about this in the back end. I really want to push out a lot of what's being developed, if not all what's been developed on Caspa, because there's no other media platform out there that's diverse, that's come from a different chain, that's pushing these developments. So this was the whole number one reason which pushed me to start doing it. I had conversations back in the back end a few months ago with Full Face about it, and a few other guys, and it's just been sitting in the back of my head. I'm thinking, no one's doing it, man. It might as well start now. So I just ended up doing it, and yeah, I'm trying my best to cover everything I can catch.
Well, you have been smashing it, to be honest, man. So yeah, I like seeing the Crumpet Media updates. So it's really good to see. Ashton, I was just going to go back to you quickly. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on to development wise?
No, I don't think so. We're pushing along. Things look great. I have no real concerns on the development side, and just hurry up and wait moment, like we're all kind of excited about. The big thing is just go to experience.caspa.events, buy a ticket, be there, shake hands, don't miss it. Sounded abrupt, Chris, but I'm done.
I thought you got muted.
I didn't want to say anything, so I didn't know if you just cut off again.
Self-mute.
Yeah.
Just one of those times where the last word comes out and you're like, all right, there's nothing left. I'm done.
No, but it's so true, man. Meeting people is key. I went to the Ethereum 10th birthday event, and it was insane. A good few hundred people came through, and everyone was talking about everything that they were building across every chain. Of course, I plugged Caspa as much as I could with Crumpet Media, and yeah, the energy is different. We're all used to the crypto Twitter, we're all used to being here online or in Discords, but the energy you get when you're meeting people in real life is so different, man. You get to tell and see the person you've been speaking to and be sort of trying to judge online, but real life, and you see who they really are. There's nothing like it, man.
It's so true. It really is. You get. It's hard to do things online, even written or even as we're speaking now, because you can't really read someone, if you know what I mean. You can't. Some stuff might be said out of context that you didn't mean to be said out of context, and it's so much easier when you're just meeting people. And I don't know, it's just the awkward silences are probably weirder, but apart from that, it's good laugh, it's good fun.
I think that might be less frequent in person.
I hope so.
No, it really is true though. Like almost everything that we've done, and it's not like it's crazy amazing and we built some new chain or anything, but almost everything was an idea at one of these events. It was started in Miami like a year ago, and then Sydney, and then Bucharest. But I mean, Moonbound, the entire idea was born in Bucharest over drinks at that conference. So the opportunities you get from networking are arguably better than the content you learn at the event.
Agreed. That's why even these meetups with 10, 15 people, it's powerful, because then an idea sparks, and that seed turns into an application. So I do encourage people to get together for sure.
That's what it's all about. We love it. seems like a good place to end the show then, Levendi. Agreed?
Yeah, agreed, man. We've had an absolute banger of an episode today, man. Thank you to all for turning up, listening, whether you're a listener or a speaker. Thank you to all the new people that joined us from Paw Chain. Sir Shields a lot. Awesome to speak with you and meet you today, as well as Alan from Quai, not QAI, as you heard me saying in the beginning of the space, butchering it. But it was great to see. Alan literally just sent me a DM saying that this space was awesome, and he's glad to come back whenever he can, weekly, which is awesome to see. Makes a big change to the space that the Caspa community got invited to by some of the Bitcoiners. This was the whole reason why I set this up, so we can showcase to everybody else that we can indeed talk to each other and work with each other. So yeah, it was an awesome space. Really loved hearing about everything. It's a good night from me. Chris, over to you.
Yeah, just wanted to say a massive thanks to all our speakers who took the time to come speak to us. Really appreciate it. And again, a massive, huge thank you to everyone who actually listened to the space, because without you, we wouldn't have a space. So a massive thank you to you guys. We hope you came for the blockchain, but stayed for the banter. And we will see you next week. See you later, guys.
Sorry, one thing, big shout out to CryptoPumpz. He's been recording and streaming this entire show over on YouTube and here on AX.
Sweet.
So yeah, get that introduction video. I got stuck watching it earlier on. I almost missed my cue to start the space. Such a great introduction video. But yeah, big shout out to CryptoPumpz. Thanks for everything, mate.
Yeah, his intro videos are mesmerizing. So yeah, fair play to him. And I was literally about to say that before you cut me off, Levendi. Thank you so much to CryptoPumpz. I love you, man. Love you all, guys, and see you next week. Cheers.